Suleiman always used to say echoes a lot on the other phone.
No, it's
Yeah,
good.
you're fixed now.
Well, partially. I still can't see mic requests, so partially fixed. You just be able to hear me a lot clearer, aren't you lucky?
It is pretty clear. Your mic is very clear now. Yes, this is great.
What do you reckon, Sully? Is Khaleesi fixed?
Well, let's not jump to conclusions here, Simon. Come on, one baby steps, baby steps.
We were waiting to hear from you, Casey. Casey, right?
As much as a chick can be.
Hey, Sully, could you check your inbox one sec?
Yeah, he said as much as a chick can be, but just before that, while you guys were all talking, he said it's impossible to fix me. That's what he said, but he thinks I didn't hear it, but I did hear it. And now my mic is clear. You can hear me as well. So jump in, Casey, because I really wanted to hear what your response to what Ian was talking about. Because he asked you about the fact that you've got your ID out there in your face and everything. How does that like kind of impact you? What do you think? Because you're obviously outspoken on this issue as well. So yeah, I wanted to hear what you had to say. Thanks for rejoining.
Ask Gary.
Oh. Thanks for having me back. Freaking app. Yeah, my face is out there and my name. You know, it's funny because, and I'm not gonna like go on a long tangent, right? But when I decided to start like speaking out about things, it was after COVID. I didn't think that I would ever be here, you know. But I was like, I just can't shut up about the stuff that I'm seeing, and this is just how I am. And but
More breaking news.
Yep,
A report indicating this missile barrage from Iran is absolutely massive. Some reports indicate this missile barrage from Iran is absolutely massive. Let's see what happens.
Let's see what happens. And it does look massive from the pictures that you that I'm looking at on the nest here. But yeah, so anyway, they can make weird phone calls and things happen, but God is good. It is what it is. Like I'm not the type to like go on some long you know, complaint or whatever, because you know, first of all, I'm not. Yeah, there you go. but because like first of all, I'm not Suleiman who's had my name on a missile or anything like that, or even what you just shared with us, the fact that they canceled you, Nick and Myron, from you know certain discussions with the election and everything. Like you couldn't be on a space or whatever. So I would never complain or anything, but this is what has to be done. People are being lied to so much. Dr. Michael, look at what you just shared with the Hillsdale College. I didn't even know, like, why. I'm not shocked. But it's such a betrayal, though, because these are the places that talk about freedom of speech, and we're going to teach about the Constitution. And then this is the kind of stuff they do to you in the end. Like they just, well, you're talking about Israel. So everything is out the water. Your Constitution, everything is out the, you know, it's out of here. And it's just all flushed, right? So it's just ridiculous, but somebody has to do it. You just find yourself in this spot. And, you know, like I said, I thank God. And I thank God for being with you guys on this journey. I would have never expected to be here talking about this stuff, but you can't shut up about it. When you see it, it's like, you have to say something and tell the masses. And you know, now like even when I get, if I'm like at the market and somebody's like, oh, I link everything to Israel. maybe things that are not about Israel, but I link everything to Israel. When somebody says, oh my goodness, the milk is expensive, and I'm like, well, because we keep sending money to Israel. And maybe that's not exactly it, but it's just a segue for me to get a conversation going and then you know drop into some knowledge. Huh? What'd you say again?
I said, and it is it. And truth could go into the kosher tax and all those things.
Exactly, I know. But
yeah, I always do that. I go up to a stranger. Hey, what do you think about the Jews? You know, that's great though.
Just a bit of breaking news, guys. We have reports of possible impacts in the north.
So they're landed now?
Some breaking news as well, that you can see the missiles taken off from, well, no, they're not taken off. They're taken off from Iran, but you can see them from Ahvaz. So it's going down like Donkey Kong.
That was a little corny. I liked Khaleesi's ass much better than the like Donkey Kong. But no, it is going down.
Yeah, bro, it's going down. I mean, I'm looking at a picture that's over Iraq, and the skies are lit up. Literally, it looks like I can't even describe it. I'm sending it to you now, Sully.
Time to crack open that Red Bull.
Yes, I have mine. And I have a monster for later.
You don't think it's kind of weird to crack open and celebrate bombs dropping on people?
No.
It's a bit odd to me. I don't know.
Which people? Well,
human beings in general. I just think it's kind of weird to crack open champagne or Red Bull or whatever and celebrate bombs dropping.
I do think it's weird. Like, you know, when they do those hilltop parties, right? When they watch kids in Gaza being killed.
For sure.
Yeah, I think that's weird, and I think that if we were doing that, it would be equally as weird. But you weren't in our space earlier today, so we were talking about this earlier today because, like, we've never advocated for war. We wanted peace. We don't want civilians or human beings to die on either side. But this is bricks and mortar that's being hit. I don't see babies being burnt alive in tents here. And if I did, I would call it out. This is bricks and mortar. People have got shelters, they've got safe zones, they've got David sling, they've got, you know, all sorts of defenses, all sorts. They're not being harmed. So yeah, I'm happy to crack open the Red Bull because you know what? If I wasn't cracking open, no, let me just finish, please.
Sorry.
Well, no, it's fine. But I feel quite strongly about this, right? And I'll tell you what, if it was just normal circumstances, and one day I wake up and I see a country bomb another country, and I kind of made that remark, you'd think, well, that's a bit weird. Even I would think that's a bit weird.
It's in Haifa. I've seen the visuals myself.
And Nathan, your mic's a bit low. I don't know if it's for me, but it's a bit low.
There's I'll come back to you in 1 second, but there's a tweet in the nest, guys. Please share it, retweet it. Missiles will target the north and south of Israel. So what I'm saying is, well, if somebody made that comment in isolation, I'd find it was a bit weird, right? But I have literally sat here every night and watched Israel's terrorism, burning children alive, getting people now, just even today, hungry, starving people together to give them aid as a pretense to kill them. I've seen their terrorism every day in Gaza, in the West Bank, in Lebanon, in Syria, in Yemen, every single day. And you know what? Not one country, not one institution, not one court has managed to stop them. So yeah, if Iran is firing some missiles to hit some bricks and mortar, I will open up half a dozen cans of Red Bull because do you know what? This was crazy that nobody was speaking up. And when I say nobody, I don't mean ours. I mean, our governments are all complicit in this. South Africa went to the ICJ and they went after the South Africa. They went after the lawyer. They went after her family. She's on record saying they threatened my family. They came after my husband. They threatened my children.
We have impact near the power plant in Haifa. It's probably within hundreds of meters or so, 100 meters, I can't say, but it's really close. So it might have hit one of the facilities there.
So if it's a power plant, well, I don't care.
Some more breaking news. Major break in the sky of Israel is filled with missiles. Direct hits reported in Tel Aviv by missiles fired from Iran. That tweets in the nest, and we've got more coming. I'm just posting it now, which is fire breaks out near a power plant. That's just coming through. Give me 2 seconds. Fire breaks out at a power plant in Haifa following targeting by Iranian missiles. That's happening right now. That tweet's in the nest, so it's happening right now. There has been hits. What's happened to the Iron Dome? I thought it was the most advanced. I thought Trump wanted a Golden Dome. It was so good.
No, I read yesterday it's the Iranian missiles. The first lot will always, the first one or two will always scramble. They'll scramble, and then the Iron Dome can't actually stop them. It just redirects them, and they'll either land on target or they'll go anywhere else. I don't know what it is, but I was reading about it yesterday. But well, I know it sounds weird what I said, but I'm just putting some context around it because I feel very, very strongly about this. I literally have got to the end of my tether.
So Israeli
Okay,
media
we'll just pause.
rockets fall in Haifa, Tel Aviv, and Bnei Brak. It's coming from Israeli media.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Nathan. Yeah, continue to give the updates. We have got another hit, and it is, it's a more close-up picture of the hit near the power plant in Haifa. Significant hit. Khaleesi, can you update the title, please, for me? Thank you.
Yeah, let me do it now.
Reports of violent shocks in Tel Aviv.
Haifa hit by Iran.
Or should I be, let me be clear. It says, I'll tell you exactly the exact wording, sorry. It says violent explosions in Tel Aviv, central Israel.
Let's put that as the title. Violent explosions.
I'm sorry to jump in, but I'm in South Lebanon.
Fuck me.
Missiles
I don't know
fall
what
in
they do.
Haifa, Tel Aviv,
Bro.
and Bnei Brak.
I don't know what they spent on this fucking Iron Dome or whatever it's supposed to be. David Sling, arrow.
No, what you guys spend, not they spend.
I think
It's
there's
your country, Nathan.
Yeah, they don't care. We're paying for it anyways.
Yeah, it's your lot. Sorry, who's in Lebanon? Jaffa, you're in Lebanon.
Yeah, I have got no information, but I'm hearing the explosions from where I am, and I'm around 45 minutes from the border. I'm in the village. This is the most explosions I've heard since the
How far
beginning.
are you from Tel Aviv? It's about it's a few hundred miles away from Tel Aviv, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm a bit far from Tel Aviv, but they're hitting Haifa as well, and Haifa is in the north. So yeah, it's crazy, and I'm pretty sure I'm
Major,
hearing.
this is crazy. Missiles, we said missiles fall in Haifa, Tel Aviv, and Bnei Brak. Now, violent explosions in Tel Aviv and central Israel right now. Violent explosions in Tel Aviv and central Israel right now. Nathan, I'm going to continue watching out for anything you send. I'm checking my own stuff as well.
Did those people get into shelters?
Yeah, probably. Casey, I'm cracking open a Red Bull.
Yeah, they have they're actually been told to stay in shelters overnight. So
Do you remember initially a couple
won't
of
go down
hours
that
ago,
road.
Truth, they were just told to kind of gather around safe areas and they were left there. Did they manage to get to safety?
It's hard to say. Fingers crossed. I'll be really disappointed if they didn't.
Yeah, womp womp.
I think it'd be disgraceful if Netanyahu just left them on a frigging street corner.
Listen, I'm against any civilians being killed.
Exactly.
But if we use the Israeli ideology, and let's say innocent civilians were to be killed, by the way, I don't agree with this, but if you use their own ideology and positions against them, then it is that just Iran had the right to defend themselves, even against children, is their position.
Yeah, it's not Iran's fault that they put their military bases in the heart of Tel Aviv.
Yeah, they use human shields.
I have such little faith in Netanyahu that he would literally use the civilians of Israel as collateral damage. He stopped them from leaving on flights, left them in freaking safe areas, like just there today with no instructions.
No, but let me be clear on this. Like, I'm a big believer in, like, if you believe in something or you profess a certain ideology position, then whatever consequences are of that, then you got to deal with it. It's like when people supported COVID, I always said, look, you're going to be living in cardboards and I ain't going to be bothered because I'm going to be fine financially. You're going to be living in cardboards and you're going to get zero sympathy from me, right? So the same thing stands here. Like the vast majority of the Israeli population said that there's not enough aggression happening in Gaza. Like we're like, what the hell are we watching in real time? And they're like, there's not enough Gaza aggression happening in Gaza. So when you take that into consideration, you think, you know what, karma, like not just karma, like you know what it is, whatever the consequences are, you got to deal with it. It sounds harsh, but that's that painful life lessons.
Yeah, I have the sentiment that Iran's not doing enough. Honestly, there should be more.
You're looking at two regimes at the moment that are willing to use their own people as collateral damage. This is what I'm saying. I just don't.
No, actually, just the Zionist Israeli regime is doing
No,
that.
you're objectively wrong.
Sir,
You don't know anything about the Islamic Republic.
only the Israeli Zionist regime is
Okay,
using
if you want to live in an echo chamber, that's
public
fine. But you
display.
know nothing
No,
about.
that's fine. If you want to be a retard
You
about it,
know,
that's fine. I mean, if you
you
want to
can
be
call me names
uneducated,
if
that's
you
fine.
want, But you
No,
know
I'm just
nothing
saying what you
about the
want. But
way
if you
the
want to be
Iranian
uneducated,
people
that's
have
fine,
been
sir.
treated. You can
Sir,
keep
Guys,
sir.
talking
can we
over
look?
me.
You know what, Whale brother saying? Listen, I'd really like you to both have this discussion in between breaking news. Obviously, there's some just breaking
Sure.
news in the nest. Iranian ballistic missiles directly hit Tel Aviv, Israel. You can see them in the nest, guys. But I'd like you to have a discussion about this because, and like a cordial one, please, because I do think it'd be good for our listeners as well. I think you've been very respectful, and I'm happy you're here and you're welcome to the space. And Brother saying, obviously, he's from Lebanon. He's seen his people be massacred, and not just now, for a long time. So it's tough. So yeah.
That's fine, but the idea that the Iranian people haven't been oppressed and haven't been hurt and murdered by their regime is fucking nonsense. I don't know why you're laughing, because it's true.
I'm laughing because you're spewing Zionist
I'm not.
propaganda. That's why.
I'm
So
Iranian.
Whale,
I'm Iranian. You
how many
dipshit.
Iranians have been
I'm
oppressed or
Iranian.
killed by their governments?
Listen,
You're Iranian. Are you a monarchist?
I'm not a monarchist, Saps. I literally just came on this space to say I don't understand why people are spewing "Long live King Reza Pahlavi" when the monarch was toppled in 1979 for a reason. You know nothing about me, and you know nothing about the
That's why I
emotional.
asked the question.
What? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So that's why I asked the question.
Right, but this idea that the Iranian people haven't been hurt and oppressed and haven't had their freedom stripped, this is not Zionist propaganda. What a ridiculous
So
gas.
will you acknowledge that over 5,000 economic sanctions have harmed the Iranian economy and the standard of living for all Iranians?
Of course they have. This is
Okay, so whose fault was that?
this is obvious. But
Whose fault was that? The government's fault?
was what the government's fault? The sanctions?
The 5,000 sanctions that were imposed by, let's just call them imperial powers.
Well, when you chant "Death to America," I'm trying to be objective here.
So is that why?
When you
Wait a minute. When they were subjected
See,
to 8
again,
years of
Zionist
war,
propaganda.
wait
See
a
what
minute.
I'm
When they were
talking about,
subjected to
Truth? This
80,
is the problem.
Go,
Like,
who
go.
did more harm to Iranians? Was it 1 million that got killed by the Iraqi army backed by all of NATO, or was it the government because they chanted "Death to America" because literally American bombs and let's say nerve agents and other kinds of chemical weapons were killing them?
Okay.
Who did more harm?
Okay. So can I answer your question without being interrupted? The Iran-Iraq war was awful. A lot of people died. My uncle fought in that war, and he was almost killed. I mean, he took years to recover. So this idea that like we can say one was worse than the other is that we're talking about a regime that's been in power that promised
Sorry guys, I got a
that
bit of
promised
a
the
breaking news.
good.
So
Yep.
Israeli media is reporting a major power outage in central Israel. Also, we got reports of, again, Israeli media is reporting at least 4 rockets hit Tel Aviv and its surroundings. And then I have one more, sorry.
We've got a footage of it hit. They're saying they're reporting it as Judgment Day in Israel.
Yeah.
What did you just say now, Nathan? I missed that.
So I said at least 4 rockets hit Tel Aviv and its surrounding area. Sorry, its surroundings, and then also Israeli media was reporting a major power outage in central Israel. Also, they also reporting just come in serious injuries in central Israel due to Iranian bombardment.
Yeah, I'm not even able to put everything in the nest. Like, just news is just coming out thick and fast. So we'll put bits and bobs in, and Khaleesi can read it. But a lot of it, it's gonna. Khaleesi, if you could keep checking my page and then
Then
putting
they're
in the nest
also
and reading it.
reporting, sorry, Red Star of David, I don't know what that is. I didn't have time to check it. Receives multiple reports in the center and coastal region.
What was the other news you said just before that?
Before that would have been
After you said the 4 big hits in central Israel.
the power outage, major power outage in central Israel.
No, then you said something after that.
Serious injuries in central Israel due to Iranian bombardment.
Okay, thanks.
And then also, this one just come in, serious injuries and possible fatalities in Tel Aviv due to building collapse. According to various reports, this is considered the largest barrage of missiles, with approximately 100 missiles launched simultaneously. Channel 12 is reporting several rockets have fallen in Tel Aviv. air defenses failed to intercept rockets, and then they ain't lying because you can clearly see. I mean, I don't
This is
understand what
major.
people
I
do.
agree with you. Like I'm looking at the impacts, and I'm like, I'm not even able to keep up with the news. It's just
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. And you know the thing is you're getting so many videos even from different angles. I can see which ones are this like coming from the same incoming
Yeah, my
missile.
thing always be is like sometimes people recycle things from the older ones. It just takes a bit longer to like check it, and then sometimes you still don't know. Like you verify it, but you're not always 100%. And some look completely new, and then later you find out they're not.
Yeah, and sometimes they look the same though to the ones like because the way that they evade the defense system, it just looks like the same every time.
Yeah.
It's like I seen one before. I don't know if I think I sent it to you. It's like the you see the missile, the like the defense system missile launch, and it's literally it goes nowhere near the fucking like I don't know. It's like it couldn't even read the speed. It was going so fast. It's just like it's just going straight past it.
This is crazy. Truth, you hear anything?
Just watching some videos, watching Tel Aviv get bombed right
Tel
now.
Aviv is under fire right
It
now.
is, yeah. I think this hypersonic missiles devastate facilities in Haifa. 4 rockets hit Tel Aviv and some surrounding areas. Let's see. Some serious injuries, as Nathan just mentioned, from the
Iran has
bombardment.
a right to defend itself.
Absolutely. Possible fatalities as well in Tel Aviv. There's a building collapse. So it looks like there's approximately 100 missiles that were launched simultaneously. Yeah, the army confirms this. Several rockets. This is Hebrew channel now. They've confirmed rockets have fallen on Tel Aviv. Air defenses, the best air defenses in the world, have failed again. So a high rise has been struck in Ramat Gan. It is possible to exit the shelters. Really? I think that's a cyber hack. They're telling them to go outside. There's a video from Kuwait's airspace. I think they agreed not to allow their airspace to be used by Israel or the U.S. because I don't see any attempts either to strike them down. Israeli media confirmed some serious injuries as well from the bombardment. So this one's going to be worse. And I guess they're being careful not to show footage of those that are injured.
Yeah, Solly, you should have the. I'm pretty sure I sent you the video of the
Yeah, emergency rescue teams are on site.
and I just sent you another one as well, which looks
This
like
is crazy.
Yep.
Tel Aviv is under a bombardment. Oof.
So this is a fresh one just come in. It says Israeli media reports concerns over damage to several buildings in central Israel and fire at the incident site. And then also the mayor of Petah Tikva says an Iranian missile has struck the city, hitting a building, and rescue operations are ongoing. Okay, we've got
Actually, I've got an idea. Hussein, are you there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up?
Can you do me a favor? Because I need someone to basically check my page and put everything in the nest and then just read it out, or even in case one of you guys to do it. Because like I'm tweeting and then people are just not getting the news that way. People are getting the news as well, and we're tweeting at the same time.
Yeah, I got you. I'll put them in the nest.
Nice one. And then someone read it out. You can read it out yourself or someone else can, but just read it out.
Casey probably be better. She's got dulcet tones to read it out for the
I think we
listeners.
need a man's voice.
That's an ouch, Khaleesi.
Yeah, we need a man's wife. Imagine a chicken. Oh, Tel Aviv, go ahead.
Yeah, no. Okay. I
reports of
have.
massive destruction.
Casey's very emotional, so we got to keep the emotion out of
You
it
guys hear me?
because Whale's gonna get
Oh,
upset.
Nathan. Wait, Nathan is talking. Let me command him. Go ahead, Nathan.
Sorry, so it's reported a massive destruction in Petah Tikva with collapsed buildings and people trapped underneath the rubble.
Can I ask Hossein a question since he's a bit salty? Do you think that the Iranian people, the majority
I
of
could
the
just spot
Iranian
a
people,
Zio from a mile away.
are?
Anyways, Casey,
Do
you
you?
want to read
Hey,
the one on the
dipshit!
next?
Listen. Do you think the majority of
Yeah,
the
Fuck
Iranian
face. You
people?
want
no,
to
you
chill out?
can't
Second, we
talk
have
to him
breaking
like
news.
that.
Do
Whoa.
you
Yeah,
think?
faggots
No.
be faggots.
Do you think the majority of the Iranian people are happy with their
Yeah.
government?
Anyways, Casey, there's
Answer
a
my
tweet that
question.
Casey
Answer
already
my.
shared.
Hold on, I'm gonna have to go
Don't
and
call me a
I'm gonna
Zio.
have
All right, guys. I don't want
Well, you know what? Like
Well,
the thing is,
no,
firstly,
you guys don't know what my history is. So to call me a Zio is just
No,
fucking
but Will, I
ridiculous.
don't get it. Will, I get it. You wanna have a conversation. First of all, you were here for ages. You could have had it then. Right now, we're in the middle of
Oh, I'm
reporting
sorry.
news.
I'm sorry, Suleiman. Go for it.
Yeah, we're reporting news. You just literally heard me give Hussein instructions on what to do, and you were like, Hussein, debate me now, debate me. Like, what's that all
No,
about?
it wasn't that deep, but
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
it was that deep because you basically I literally spoke. You heard me, unless you're unable to listen.
there was a long pause,
Explain.
Suleiman. But I'm not going to take over your space. Go do what you need to do. I'm sorry.
That's it, no problem. That's
Yeah,
all
yeah.
it
You
was.
want to
I
give us
know
your sob
that's the
story
whole point of me
about your
saying.
history? Okay,
The
we
whole
get it.
point of me giving Hussein those instructions was because I agree that there were pauses, and that way there won't be any pauses.
Sully, stop arguing with these guys. I'm gonna send you something, bro. I don't think there's nothing stopping this. Whatever the fuck this was, there is nothing stopping.
Well, what is it already? Just say it.
I don't know. It's
you
a
know, listen to
missile.
you,
I don't know
Nathan,
what
and
it is,
Truth,
but
and
it is
Suleiman, and I
traveling.
feel like it's three guys playing freaking video games. Where you're like, whoa, that was
I'm
bad.
just saying,
Whoa.
bro. What I just saw. I mean, this thing is traveling so fast. Oh, listen. I'm gonna send it to you, Sully. I think I sent you the wrong one just now because I'm so excited. Or I don't know what the fuck I just saw.
Yeah, they're
There is
smashing some of
nothing.
these
There is
sites.
literally
wait.
nothing stopping this. Whatever it was.
I think that's the one. Is that the one?
No. Sorry, one sec. Yeah, that's the wrong one. It's coming now.
It's crazy.
I put 2 tweets at the nest already, Sully, from your latest ones.
I don't
Yeah,
know
See
why I'm
what I
not
mean?
seeing them.
KC struggling, bro. Like, you know what I
I
mean?
can't see that not, but
yeah, it should be that one, the 12-second one.
I don't see anything on the nest. I'm having a terrible glitch or something.
Hussein, you read it. I told you.
What
I told you, you
Yeah.
is
can't rely on chicks
So the
Oh my,
first.
what
So,
the fuck
in
is
pressure
this?
situations. You can't rely on chicks. I
Oh
told you
my
guys. Like, you
god,
don't know.
Sully, you gotta see this. Oh my god. Oh
Damn,
my
Nathan,
god, what is
come
Yeah,
up
I
with it already.
posted that one already. It's a hypersonic missile hit
No,
Tel
this is
Aviv.
something else. This is something, unless it's
Bro,
a
oh
different
my
angle.
god, this is crazy.
Yeah, you probably.
As Casey put it, yeah, it's in the nest. The last one. Hussein, just read it, bro. Read it. Read whatever's on there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I can't see the nest. This is crazy.
I got a case. The hypersonic missile impact in Tel Aviv, guys. Look at that. Look at that. That video is crazy.
Awesome. You're doing an awesome job. See, you can't rely on women under pressure. Like, they disappear. Look, where are they?
Whatever, Suleiman. I have some droid glitch. I can't even see anything on the nest.
Look at
Now
this.
they blame the equipment.
Okay,
It's
now
never
it's you.
them.
No, guys, look at the speed of that missile. It's crazy.
That's Hebrew, guys. That's not me.
Whale, translate for
I'm
us.
not Kal,
That's
bro. I
like
swear as I
that's like speed of light right there. That's insane.
But guys, I would create a video.
Guys,
I'm not
this
Kal.
is bad, guys. This is really bad. So we got reports of widespread destruction, people screaming, and some are trapped. Fire is blazing at the location. Oh, this is bad, bro. Whatever's going on, whatever's gonna
This
happen
is
from
the
here, it's not
biggest
good.
attack we've seen. This is the biggest attack we've seen.
I'm refreshing your page slowly to get the more recent ones. So far,
Appreciate it, G. So you're on it. You're on it. This is what I
It's
mean.
such a big attack. Even Hassan has been silenced.
This
I know,
is
yes.
crazy.
let's have Whale translate the Hebrew for us.
No, bro.
Hey, look, dude. If you want to keep calling me out and making jokes, like you
Breaking news! Breaking news! Hold on one
you don't
second.
know
Breaking
you
news,
don't
guys.
know
One
what my
second. One
family's
second, sir,
history.
sir,
I'm saying
sir.
you got it in the nest.
You guys kind of like being in your own echo chamber, which I think is silly, because you should welcome other people with opposing
Bro,
views.
we brought you up, bro. I don't know why you're
But yeah,
saying
but
that. I already
yeah,
knew
but
that
yeah, but
I knew your position wasn't the
Suleiman,
same
but
position as us.
bringing me up, and then just having this clown
Guys, breaking
kind of
news!
throw
Breaking
names and
news!
stuff.
Haifa is under attack. The video is in the nest.
And
Just can't see
Whale,
him.
for what it's worth, you can't walk into a bar, start urinating in the middle of the bar, and then when people are like, "Hey,
I
what are
am
you
Malcolm.
doing?" be like, "Why aren't you
What
guys more
exactly did I
welcoming?"
say? What did I say that
You've
upset you so much?
been
Were you listening?
profane, inflammatory, and abrasive to
What did I
almost
say?
anybody
It's
and
specific.
everybody that you've spoken
What did
with.
I
It's
say?
all right. You know what, Ian? Let's not, because you know what? Let's
You don't
just.
even know what I said. You're just jumping on the bandwagon. What did I
I'm
say
not
that was
jumping on any
inflammatory?
bandwagon. You've
What
been
did I say then?
abrasive. Do you know what
Tell
the
me what
word
I
means?
said. Tell me specifically what I said.
Suleiman, guys, I gotta give Suleiman a message. Can you bring Khaleesi up? I think her app crashed.
Oh my, see what I mean by chicks under pressure. Now her app's crashed. The other one can't see
It's not her
comments.
fault.
Now we're gonna have to do extra work and help these chicks out. Right, ambulance. We're saying the new other ones on there. What's this one, bro? I can't even keep up. There's too much news.
That one tweet is in the nets. Breaking ambulances all over Haifa.
Hussein, you know, whenever you put a tweet out, remove the previous one and then put that one on. That'll stop the space from crashing.
Oh, I didn't even know I had the option. Okay.
Yeah, you remove the previous one and then.
Does he have the
It's,
option without being
it's
called?
it's how we make sure that the space don't crash. Like if you notice, most spaces crash. Like we've been going for like 70-80 hours now.
Yeah, I just didn't know I had the option. I got it.
Gee.
We need to tutor him. That's why I told you to use Casey.
No,
He
listen,
knows the drill.
no chicks.
Yeah, I know how to do it. It's just I'm not. I have a thick delay.
Yeah, major issues.
Yeah, Casey's not really tech savvy.
It's funny because when I was getting it done the other day, everybody was perfectly happy with me. Now all of a sudden,
I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't remember that.
But yeah, guys, look at the ambulances all over Haifa. Look at that video. It's crazy.
Wait, have I posted this? Have I posted this one?
All right, here's another one.
Whoa! The building's been hit hard.
Oh, this one's crazy in the nest, guys. Look at that building, and I don't know if you guys can see it if it came up.
Oh, did I post the building one? Damn.
Yeah, massive destruction in Tel Aviv. Crazy video.
Oh, that's mad, bro.
don't forget to remove the other one, Brother Hussein.
I'm already on top of it, Casey. Don't worry.
Thanks for the instructions, Casey.
Anytime.
Casey, is your app working? Can you read them now?
Breaking massive destruction in Tel Aviv.
I already read it.
Right, like you give some description. You gotta give the audience some description of what's going on.
A little commentary, some enthusiasm. Come on, Casey, that's not your best
Sorry,
work.
guys, just real quickly, guys. Breaking news: we've got unconfirmed reports that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Aerospace Force carried out a targeted assassination in Gush Dan, Tel Aviv.
Is anything on the nest?
I'm gonna put up a new one right now. That's what we just posted. Should be up in a second.
Come on, Nathan. There's not enough content coming. I'm just checking a few other places as well.
Yeah, it's in the nest, guys. Breaking building destroyed in Tel Aviv. Take a look at that video. Crazy video. Damn, W Iran.
There were no doubts.
What does that stand for? I'm a boomer.
Let's ask Will.
You know what W
win.
Let me know when you have a real debate. Seriously, I nothing to say at the moment. But when you're ready, I'm ready.
That's actually a W.
I mean, again, walking into the middle of the bar, who wants to fight me?
Malcolm, you have
so
no
weird,
idea what I
man.
even said. So until you can reference something that I said that upset everyone, there's really no point in me having.
I don't know if you're antisocial or if you're just being ironic, but it's just bizarre at this point.
I think that you're a little retarded, but. Let me.
Guys, one second, guys. Breaking another video. Haifa under fire, guys. Take a look at that. Make sure you guys are liking these and reposting them. I'm not putting them up there for free. Like and repost the post up there.
Oh my God, smashing it, saying you're multitasking. You're even doing some case you could help out with, but it is what it is.
Sully,
you're carrying this on your back. Go ahead, Nathan.
Sorry, have you seen the last two I've sent you?
Guys, make sure, you know what, guys, please retweet the space, guys. Retweet the space. This is updates coming in hot like fire, so fast we can't even keep up. Haifa's under fire, guys. Please retweet the space. Get everybody in here.
Yeah, hotter than the fire in Haifa, guys.
Oh, your last video I'm actually already posting. I got it from a different source, but yeah, and the second to last one I will post that. Just like it better when Nathan sends me, because all I do is press download. This is mad. This is definitely like the biggest attack we've seen. Remember, there was going to be the IRGC and the Iranian army conducting the strikes together. Do we? I wonder if that. I wonder if this is both of them in one, or whether there's going to be like a kind of collaborative. There's a collaborative attack.
I want to ask Truth a question, but I'm afraid I'm gonna miss these. Oh, there's another video.
Let me refresh and see if I can.
Right, I'll add a little bit of commentary and go post after.
1 second, Truth. Let me just get this one. Guys, breaking. Clear footage shows 2 impacts on the Haifa power plant, and that video is in the nest. Crazy video. Sorry, Truth. Jump in.
Yeah, no problem. What I was gonna say is, with these daily attacks now, day and night, it's putting considerable strain on Israel's first responder services and its hospitals, its doctors, its nurses. In case you know, she knows about emergency med, I think. And yeah, they're going to be struggling if this carries on for, say, several weeks. You know, the hospital is going to be overflowing, similar to the Gaza situation, especially if, God forbid, a missile should land on a hospital. And, you know, God forbid, of course. Well, let's hope that never happens. But it certainly did happen to every single hospital in Gaza by accident. I don't think so. They were targeted. Maybe because, well, a certain entity keeps the headquarters above a hospital. So I guess that's fair game then, right? Because Israel chose to
Real quick, we got
militarize
a breaking
its
news
hospital.
update. So Israeli media are reporting. This is Channel 13. Reports of several direct casualties in Central Israel. Sorry.
Nathan, I'm sorry, Truth. I just have one question for Nathan. Nathan, that targeted assassination. Obviously, we don't know who the target was, right?
No, they haven't given any names.
Israel's not going to share that.
And we're waiting for confirmation. No, well, even the how should I say it? The mailman is still waiting for confirmation himself.
All right, gotcha.
Hey, Truth, I just put into the purple pill. Somebody sent me a post from 8 minutes ago from OSINT Technical talking about a sizable U.S. Air Force airlift heading across the Atlantic, including 12 135 tankers and a whole bunch of other stuff. I put into the purple pill. I'd be curious for your thoughts and if that's maybe somebody just trying to do clickbait or if there's something to that, because that would be pretty absurd.
No, we reported that. We reported that earlier. But Truth, do explain it.
Well, I mean, this is just another example of Israel falling into dire straits, desperate for, you know, new munitions, supplies, because they're falling short. Their operations have failed. There are various Mossad agents within Iran have been caught. There's probably still more, though, in different cities. They had an extensive network of Mossad agents in Iran. I was studying more up on that. So that's been their key advantage in any of the attacks they've done. They've been internal strikes, not from the F-35s. 3 of them got struck. I think that they'll be very hesitant to launch too many aerial strikes for now until they have to. And even then, they'll probably do it from a distance, which will give Iran plenty of time to knock down.
Oh my God, what have I just seen? I just saw this on Twitter. I just tweeted it. I just post tweeted it. It was crazy. The last two, like, Hussein, go through them. It's crazy. Myron, thanks for joining us. You're right in the middle of the biggest attack on Israel today.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. Jackson, I saw he was posting some stuff. Tel Aviv, Haifa's on fire right now. Which for those that are unaware, Haifa is a huge strategic port for Israel. So they're absolutely trying to cripple Israel's ability to make money, just like they've done to the Iranian regime for so long. So this is fucking unprecedented, man. Absolutely wild.
Guys, look at sorry to cut you off, Myron. Look at that video I just put up in the nest. That is a crazy missile strike.
Wow, that is a crazy missile. Oh my God.
There's just so much coming out. It's hard to keep up.
Hey, can I just say welcome to my friend Noah, who's, I think, operating under the whale coin account. He's a good guy. I've never seen him in a political space, though. You know.
Oh my God! Is that?
It
I
makes
thought
sense now.
isn't that a Jewish Zionist guy?
Yeah, no, I don't know what he's been saying in here. I just know he's a good guy. I don't know what religion or color or anything he is, or even if he's the one who's behind the whale queen.
I'm sure he's Fidicel's friend as well. Can't trust him immediately. You should have told me who he was. Now we know. We basically watch. Sully.
It's. I thought you were more mature than this, and I thought you were a strong.
Guys, look at
I
that.
thought you were
1
a
second.
Oh
strong
my God,
moderate.
Will! It's a
Breaking news, guys.
joke.
Breaking news. There's a
Will,
post.
stop crying. It's a
Breaking news.
joke.
See, Doc, it's really funny because
No,
these
but it
guys
really is though. It
testify.
really is. It really is breaking
All
news.
right, listen, Will. I'm gonna drop you if you keep bitching like a little girl. Like it was a joke. If you can't take a joke, don't waste my time. Like we'll just drop you. Like you don't have the honor of coming on a space. Actually, I will drop you because you can't obviously take a joke. Bring my boy Joe up, who's a bit normal. I'm
I wouldn't
literally
go that
joking with the
far.
guy, bro. He started crying like a normal Zayo, like they all do. I literally joking with the guy. I said, "Oh, if you're Fidgetal's friend, then you know, if I'd known that, I would have watched. You know, would have been watching out." But Zayos be Zayos. They play victim all the time.
Yeah.
I think it's because he can't. I think it's because he can't get into his bunker.
He's missing out the dance party that Truth was talking about.
There's a picture. There's a tweet in the nest from Sully, guys. The power plant. A photo of the power plant in Haifa on fire.
Where he's going back to
I've
it. That's
posted another
probably.
one. I've posted the building in Tel Aviv. I just can't remember what I posted now. I posted the building. Yes, I have another targeted building. Whoa! I was posting so fast I didn't even look at it properly.
You like, oh, I'm dropping well. I'll bring up Joa. He's a bit normal. I wouldn't go that far. I mean, you don't have to go that far. That's just Hasbara about Joa.
Joe is a G. What are you talking about?
You guys look at that. If you guys look at that tweet in the nest, that definitely looks like a targeted assassination right there in that building.
Oh man, there's an F-35 on the 7th floor. Can't you see it? It's fair game. It's a banger.
Zayos will be like, actually, let's community note the space. There was no F-35 in the 3rd floor of the building. Oh my God, another one of Tel Aviv being hit. It's just, I'm finding it difficult. Not difficult, obviously, it's easy. The bit that slowed me down is when it actually posts, it takes ages. Another one gone.
Joa, jump in.
Yeah, I was saying, Fleecy, there's a video making its rounds. All the Zayas are starting to share it. It's a video of a journalist who said he worked for the AP in Gaza from 2007 to 2011, and that Hamas would make him edit his stories, and that when he brought that up to his editor, that they told him that all the other sister agencies also needed to do the same. I went and looked into him. He moved to Israel in like the early 2000s. He's Israeli. He led the Jewish community in Toronto in Canada. This is who their guy is. So if any of you guys see this video going around that the AP is controlled by Hamas somehow, just comment please. Matt Friedman is an Israeli. I might not want to trust him.
Wait a minute. So,
Because they're all sharing it.
What's the
Like it's
account name?
right now, like
Joe?
everyone's sharing it.
What's the account name?
Guys, I don't want to cut you off. I just have to get through these tweets real quick in the nest. There's 2 videos in the nest. The first one is breaking Tel Aviv hit, and it shows a significant damage to some building structures. And then the last one is fire breaks out after Iranian missiles hit a power plant in Haifa.
Oh my God, what
We
have I
got
just seen?
more incoming, and I think we might even.
This is like an apocalypse. This is literally the worst video I've ever seen in terms of like visually.
Your brother was saying you're supposed to give us a description. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's happening? Not just read the title blandly. Casey was doing a better job than that.
Casey can't even see the post. I mean, I don't know. That's
True. You're doing a great job, Hussein. Bro, this guy,
Are they
called.
just telling Haifa over and over? Is Haifa like the main target?
No.
Seamless?
There's like 6 or 7 targets. I think I posted like 10 posts ago, 15 posts ago. But yeah, the major destruction is Haifa and Tel Aviv. What I'm seeing now.
This is crazy. This is literally what I'm about to post now. I think is like visually is the most shocking video I'm posting.
It's gonna come up in the nest. There it is. Let me. So breaking an
That
apocalyptic
fireball's
scene.
huge.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. That is next level right there.
Bro, I'm not exaggerating, right? It's mental. Explain it to Hussein.
Yeah, I mean, guys, if you look at the video, you guys can see the giant fireball. I mean, this look for what Iran's doing right now with just ballistic missiles and hypersonic missiles. This is like F-35 level bombings, and they're not even using jets. They're just using ballistic missiles from 1,200 miles away. It's crazy.
So I've just been sent this, right? Brother Omar sent it, and it says there's a major military airlift appears to be underway as an unprecedented number of U.S. Air Force KC-135 and KC-46 aerial refueling tankers have departed from air bases across the U.S. and appearing to be preparing to cross the Atlantic towards Europe. Why would they be going towards Europe?
Yeah, why towards Europe?
I mean, the UK and France decided to join the coalition. It might be similar to like Lend-Lease agreement, where they're giving them what they need to be able to help Israel as well, right? Since they're the ones also launching aircrafts and helping them with air defense, or just defense against all the projectiles. Since Israel can't handle it, it seems.
I got this. Zios are like putting pictures of
I
Haifa
posted another one.
burning, saying, "Pray for Haifa, pray for Haifa."
Yeah, there's another video in the
I'm
nest,
just,
guys.
Khaleesi, I'm looking for the dancing Israelis. Where are they at? How come they're not
Truth,
celebrating
they're in the
like
bunkers.
they would when
Remember?
Gaza was on fire? Oh, that's yeah, they're celebrating there. Better. Well,
Not much to.
let's not pretend we know what's going on there. Let's forget it.
Yeah, yeah.
No, all of this is fake. This is all CGI according to Israelis and 1984 and all the rest of them. This is all fake. It's not real.
So the video in the nest, guys, that you're gonna like and repost for us is there's fear and panic in Tel Aviv following the missile strike from Iran, and you guys can hear like the fear in their voices.
Yeah, I saw that one. I posted it.
Khaleesi,
Just
all
real quick,
four of those
guys.
planes are for refueling, by the way.
Sorry, Joe.
Yeah, I'm reading they're actually going towards the Middle East. They're not going towards Europe. So America's really getting involved. Hands on deck for America. You guys, most of you sat on this panel, you Joa, you Ian, all of you Nathan, your government is actually going to attack Iran. Brother Hussein. Casey.
Just gonna.
No, I
Oh
have nothing to
my
do with this.
god, what am I seeing? You will be shocked at this next video. It is crazy. It's literally like a movie scene. It's crazy.
Is that the one I posted in the nest, Sully?
Nah, bro, that's like the end result, but this is like crazy. It's all in up in fire.
Yeah, this is massive.
Bro, this is mad.
Just real quickly,
They
I got a quote. I want to quote real quick. So this is an Israeli media. It's been quoted as saying, "When you emerge from the shelter, you will witness the complete victory that Bibi Netanyahu promised us during the squares of Tel Aviv."
Is that supposed to be satire, like a joke or something?
No, it's sarcasm. Americans, I realized when I did my British sarcastic jokes, they never understood it. So it's just a language thing, but it's called sarcasm. That go. Americans are not aware of it.
Guys, look at the video in the nest. Oh, sorry, Nathan, you had something?
No, I was telling Suleiman that we lost Khaleesi.
No, you haven't. I'm right
Probably
here.
probably fell asleep again.
No.
No, stop it. No, she's right here, the cornerstone of this space. Where's
Wait,
the
hold
other
on, what's
video?
going on here? So one sec.
Guys,
Is
check out.
Myra in here? Is Myra in here as well?
No, he
Myron's
dropped.
here.
Right.
Oh, for me, he dropped.
Yeah, because on mine
Yeah.
it says connecting, but I'm probably glitched out. You probably have to recycle me, bro.
Just do it. Just do it. Just recycle after this ends because we can hear you, so it's fine.
There's massive fires right now in Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv is burning to the ground, guys. Look at that video in the.
Bro, look at that video. It's absolutely crazy.
Yo,
One would think that was the other. That is crazy.
That looks
What
that
the
looks
fuck?
that looks eerily similar to the video I saw earlier from Ramallah, which is like in the West Bank, like a settler area. It looks a lot like that. I don't know if there's a mistake or not. It looks exactly like that. So what I saw was a picture, and this is a video.
Oh, we're gonna be seeing a lot of fires. I'm trying to see. We'll have a lot in common, I guess.
Yeah, it could be actually.
All right, this next video I just put up in the nest from Sully is absolutely crazy. So the I guess is the Petha Tikva direct hit on the build. Look at the direct hit on this building. Crazy.
That is crazy. I'm looking at it now.
Just like putting on a loop, to be honest.
Wow. So apparently there is a military censorship imposed on 2 sites hit by Iranian missiles.
Does anyone know what the estimated missile stockpile was for Iran? I remember a year or two ago we were talking about it. It was apparently quite extensive. I wonder how long they can continue doing this.
So nobody has a distinctive.
Nathan, what did you say? Military what?
No, I asked what the
One second.
stockpile of missiles might be, what their loadout is. I've
One
heard
sec.
in the past
One
that
sec.
it's quite extensive, but I wonder how long they can keep this bombardment up.
Just 1 second, Doc. Sorry. Nathan, what did you say about the
Military,
breaking news?
military censorship imposed on 2 sites hit by Iranian missiles.
Oh yeah, I've got that. Yeah, I thought you said something else.
Yeah, that's working really well.
Hey guys,
It's
real
sti-
quick, did you guys cover this breaking news also? The Israeli chief of staff and senior advisor to Netanyahu has been reportedly assassinated. Did you guys get that?
What's his
No.
Yeah,
name?
that was like this morning.
That was this morning. Okay, is that confirmed? Do you know? That was reported by CNN, but then again, I don't know about reports from CNN, BBC.
I've seen lots of reports of it.
I haven't seen
Okay.
anything about it. What's his name, Heidi?
I'm sorry, were you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm saying, what's his name? I haven't seen anything about it, or maybe I did, but I can't remember.
Oh, I'll look for it. Hold on.
Hussein, did you put this last one in? This looks crazy. I mean,
No,
breaking.
you can plug it, Casey. Go ahead.
You put it in the nest.
Doc,
Yeah, it's there.
Okay, breaking. Israel hit hard, but like this looks so crazy. Like there's just missiles everywhere, just coming, and then they come down. Like the way they come down fast like that, it's like that's the
They've
part
got
that
the
like is
boosters that
breathtaking.
activate.
Sorry guys, I was
It
driving.
activates
Eri
right.
Haro. Eri Haro.
Hey, how? I don't know. Anyway, they've got those hypersonics have a boosters that activate just before they strike. They're on the last leg of the trajectory, and it's just unstoppable.
Oh, that is wild. It just like it literally is
And it's also
breathtaking.
for maximum impact, right? It's like Nas from Fast and the Furious. It's
I
overdrive.
wonder if Trump is now still going to build the Iron Dome over America. Seems like a waste
Yeah, he
of
wants
money.
his own Iron Dome because his Iron
That's the
Dome is so
Golden
good.
Dome.
Have you seen it? Have you seen it, Doc? It's just so good.
It'll be the same color as his hair. It's the Golden Dome.
Hey, Sully, you gotta check this this next post coming to you. It's to do with something that you guys were discussing earlier. Uh, So it seems that it's a possibility that that video of the Iranian, I don't know if he was part of the, I can't remember which group you guys said, but apparently the video is AI generated and there's no sign.
Yeah, I don't think that's true. What it is you have to understand, like Pakistani politics. Like, there's a lot of internal politics. So what'll happen is, like how in US you guys have MAGA, and like some people, not Doc, like a lot of people will defend Trump no matter what he does, and then they'll just attack Americans, right? Anyone if it's against Trump. So it's the same thing in Pakistan. Like, well, don't get me wrong, my family is PTI as well. I've interviewed Imran Khan. I'm cool with him, but like people who like Imran Khan will do anything to minimize, like demonize the current regime. So that's a lot of what happens there as well. So there's a lot of like psyops that happen both ways and attacks. In reality, like what they don't understand is if Pakistan is helping Israel, all it does is from a public relation perspective, make Pakistan look good. Because the vast majority of the world's against Israel and everyone's largely supporting Iran because they're against Israel. Like even people who don't like Iran or are sectarian are still like, oh yeah, actually we don't mind Iran doing this. So there's that aspect as well. So I think that's something.
Well, it's funny you say that because if you check what I just sent you, you'll see what I'm saying.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's.
I put up another video in the nest, guys. Emergency crews working to evacuate the settlers from the rubble. Must be nice having machinery when Gazans have to do it with their bare hands.
Send me that.
Also, Doc, to answer your question, the RGC have said before that they make missiles at the same rate as they make cigarettes. The only problem is that they have not enough space to store them.
Yeah, I heard what 10,000, but I think what's really doing damage now are these hypersonics.
No, it's
the
much
video
more
is
than
It's not
incredible.
10,000 and it's more than 100,000. Like I said, they have more than what they export missiles and drones to over 20 countries around the world, including Russia.
Hey, True Teller, I know you're pretty good when it comes to their missile program. The video that Suleiman posted earlier, was that a hypersonic that hit that building?
Yeah. So the way you distinguish hypersonic from a normal ballistic missile is they go at speeds above Mach 5.
And they
so
go
that's
into space, don't they? Don't they go into space before they come in and land on their target?
So they have more of an unpredictable trajectory. That's why it's really hard. Besides the speed, because the speed varies as well. The trajectory is not conventional. Like with a cruise missile, it's kind of just like linear path. It's a lower range, lower altitude. With the ballistic missile, it's more like an arc. So it'll have a peak altitude and gradually drop down. And then with the hypersonic, it's almost like a roller coaster twist, and then with a varying speed. So how like you unless you've got like a hypersonic missile that can come out of a even then you what the what, okay so what the air defense system relies on is some form of predictability to be able to anticipate where the missile is going to go. It's much more difficult with these hypersonics to know what the exact target is, especially when you have like 100 of them coming at you at once. I mean, again, even the best air defense system is maybe 90% accurate. Even the IDF admits that. So you launch 110 guaranteed to land, but with hypersonics, almost 100 are guaranteed to land because there's just no way to be able to catch it because the missiles are going too fast, and they can also be used to again strike F-35s, F-16s.
Yeah, plus their flight paths are nonlinear and programmable. So whether you're doing a cruise missile or you're doing a ballistic missile, those flight paths are predictable that you can catch them once, or catch them as they're traveling into Iran. So.
All right, thanks. For those of you who are watching, I'm watching along with you, just commenting, but listening to what's going on. So just to let you know I'm here. Go ahead and put your comments in. I'll respond to them, but just kind of letting these guys talk. I might go into this space a little bit later, but just kind of letting these things play out right now.
Some more breaking news. There's a tweet in the nest. The scenes from the Giza gas power plant in Haifa. You can see it. It's in fire. It's up in flames. The tweet's in the nest. That is crazy.
Do you remember Mark Regev? He's supposedly assassinated. CNN is reporting, and it's developing. I
No
put it
way.
in the
No
purple pill. I
way.
put
hate that
it in the
guy.
purple pill.
Oh
Please, guys,
man.
Oh, can
this is
you
a big. It's in the
Salman, if it's
purple
okay,
pill.
can you put that in the nest just briefly?
I don't know, Suleiman.
Dude, there's
Suli, can I put it in the
17,000
nest?
comments on there. I'm not chasing for it. Okay,
I'm
fine.
gonna
I'll
find
post
it.
it.
I found it. I'm sending it.
Okay, Khaleesi, yeah, this is major news,
I'm
guys.
just
And
sending
Oh my
it to
God, the
so
heat.
Suleiman.
Guys,
Suleiman, if you
such an
check your
asshole.
DMs,
I feel like I'm living in a surreal world right now.
check
It's
your DMs,
crazy.
Suleiman. This guy. Oh my God, Mark fucking
Yep.
Regev.
Yes. Did you get it? Did you find it,
I
Khaleesi?
did, of course, because I'm a chick. I can find
Okay.
these things really quickly.
Yeah, thanks, Khaleesi.
It's
Yeah, I
developing,
found
guys.
it.
What?
Can you say the name again and what his
That is
position was?
massive.
Mark Regev. And if you know anything about politics, you should know who he is.
Well, they've
Senior
interviewed him a lot
advisor
of
to
Well,
times. He's
if you
been an
Netanyahu.
knew anything
ambassador,
about me, you
spokesman.
wouldn't have said something so stupid, Heidi.
Then why would you ask me who he is?
Because I
All right,
didn't hear the
so
name when it
okay,
was first pronounced. You came in and
let's.
Okay,
said a
okay.
It's
Heidi
Mark
big
Regev.
Mark
deal.
Making
Regev.
a
Mark
point.
Regev, Doc. Mark Regev. Do you know who he is, Doc?
Okay, he's held different political positions. He's been an ambassador. He's been a spokesman. He does a lot of interviews. I believe he's got is it a British or an Australian accent? And he's been on
Australian.
like Hard Talk on BBC. So he's done debates as well. Not it doesn't look very good at the meet. I
Yeah,
believe
if
he
he's a
was interviewed
Brit, I
by.
wouldn't know him. If he's related to Ronald Reagan, I might know him.
No,
But
it's
no,
Just for
Regev.
our listeners, guys,
keep your
listen.
contempt to yourself.
Doc, well, just for our listeners, right? And we're trying to verify this because it's somebody who's tweeted it out saying CNN are reporting it, so we should verify from CNN. But he was the reason why the Brits will definitely know him is because for 4 years, I think it's from 2016 or something, he was the ambassador of Israel to the United Kingdom. And that is when, if some of you remember, he's heinous. He's a heinous guy, and he's still quite high up in Israel now. He's a very influential figure in Israel. He's an Aussie, I think, but a hardcore Zionist. But
I put up one of his videos in the nest. Just take it down whenever you want.
He's a senior advisor to Netanyahu as well.
yeah, he is, yeah. And in those years that he was the ambassador to the UK, they had this incident in Gaza where the
Just some breaking news. Just some breaking news. And by the way, that we need just for the audience, we need to verify it. I know, like obviously, if it's true, it's major, but we just need to
Yeah,
verify
of
it.
course, of course.
Uh,
That's why I was telling you guys for sure.
But in terms of the tweet in the net, it says, "We are treating a large number of casualties." That's the Director General of the Israeli Civil Defense Association. So they are treating a large number of casualties from this strike. Guys, if there's any breaking news, if Hussein's carry on doing it, if there's anything I post, just put it up in the net and just explain a bit. Like we'll definitely come back to the Regev thing and obviously continue talking about it while we're doing that. But still, we just hit the news.
Yeah, sure. It's developing. The story's developing, so we will get confirmation of those two that has been assassinated.
You know, Bibi just gave Iran and everyone else who hates Israel the perfect open door to do this without a quote unquote preemptive attack. His political support is gone in Israel once they recover and look around. Bibi's done.
Khaleesi, I can't remove those posts in the nest. If you can help me, please, or Nathan.
yeah, I can do it. I'll remove them both. 1 second.
Hey, Suleiman, I got a note saying that Khamenei had been killed in one of these strikes, and I was looking around because I didn't want to go off of such substantial news on just a random DM, but Stealth Medical, who obviously is a big pro Hasbara account, she's basically taunting, suggesting that that's the case. So I don't know if there is something to it above and beyond just a rumor, but she's obviously a bigger account and saying that.
I was asked that. I can't see any verification on it. So I think, but again, this is just my assumption based on it because I can't see any verification, that because they're getting pummeled and destroyed and the entire like a large part of Tel Aviv are on fire, there's some form of redirection and misdirection.
The
Real
other
quick,
thing, just one
guys,
quickly.
breaking in the nest. We are dealing with dozens of injuries, including one critical injury and 2 serious injuries following the latest Iranian missile bombardment on Israel. That tweet is up in the nest.
Yeah, just real quickly. The thing is, right, they're being fed a lot of misinformation from their own side. Like, so you remember when the hacking happened and we got the alerts for the missiles incoming, but they didn't come. So what they started telling their people was that the the IAF was basically conducting operations to stop the launches, and they were saying that they had been successful, and that's what they were telling them while they had them in the shelters. They were literally telling
I'm
them
sorry you
that
have to listen to
they
this
were
guy.
taking out all
This guy,
these
for whatever
launches,
reason,
but
is
they
driving
basically
me
made a
insane. This guy,
preemptive strike.
Nathan.
So these people are
He's an
literally going.
absolute. He sounds like
So is Heidi still
a
here?
drunk
Where's Heidi?
Shaquille
Oh, she's
O'Neal.
gone. Oh, well, she just fed us a bit of fake news and left. Mark Regev is very much alive. Never mind. Let's focus on burning Haifa instead. Lift my spirits up.
This Khaleesi?
He's not. He's alive, Heidi. He's alive.
Oh my God! Seriously, why would CNN do that to us?
But but the thing is, it's a Twitter account that is quoting CNN. So I searched to see if CNN said that, and CNN didn't.
Really?
That what you
Okay.
sent,
All
that
right,
what
let
you
me delete
tweeted
it.
is just
Okay. I'm gonna delete it then. Then I'm not gonna. Yeah, let me delete this.
unless that guy's got inside knowledge and it'll come out.
He's the first to report on anything that's happening there, and usually it's verified and confirmed. Where did you find out he was alive?
Well, I've Googled it. I've looked it up on media, like as in the newspapers. I've Googled it according to CNN. Has CNN reported this? It hasn't. And I've even chat
All right.
GPT'd it, doing a deep search on it.
Okay. I'm gonna delete it just in case, but I'll still look. I'll still watch it, but I'm
I'm going
deleting
to
it
as
just
well.
in case. Yeah, I'll still keep my eye on it because every day is breaking news. Every second it seems like it's breaking news. We're living in Alfred Hitchcock times.
Just
I
like right now, we
swear.
have breaking news, guys. Latest on the Iranian strike. According to the Israeli media, at least 25 injuries among Israelis due to the direct hits on buildings in Tel Aviv. Israeli ambulance services, 8 buildings sustained direct hits in the last Iranian missile attack, and that tweets up in the nest.
That sounds like a low number from the damage I've seen so far.
It is low. I mean, they always understate the casualties.
Plus, they have to dig them out too.
They're not counting the ones that are missing that they haven't accounted for.
People that
But
don't remember Regev, he was the one that said that Israel did kill their own people on October 7th.
These guys are going to
He was
be
the spokesman.
lying through their teeth
but the
about what the
Haifa
casualties
port
are.
is not fake news, right? It has been destroyed. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's been
It's
destroyed.
being hit. It's being completely hit. I don't know about the destruction of it, but you know this Mark Regev thing. A lot of people have tweeted it, and the tweet that you shared, Heidi, he'd done it 5 hours ago. So I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you about Mark Regev, right? And like, there's loads of things about him that stick in my mind, but one of the key ones was because it's always really poignant when it comes to children. At that time, there were like 5 kids or something, 4 or 5 kids. And they were all little boys, and they were playing football on the beaches of Gaza. And there was a little coffee shop there, and there was some journalists from England and the West there. They were reporting on one of the, I don't know, some freaking assault that Israel was doing on Gaza. And so these journalists, these guys went and kicked the ball about with the kids. So they kicked the ball about with the kids and played a bit of football, really cute little kids. And then they walked away from the kids, came back to the coffee shop. And it wasn't a coffee shop, it was one of those open cafes where you can see the beach. And all of a sudden, shots fired from a jet above targeted those children and killed them all. I think they were cousins. And the journalists ran, and there was images that I saw of them running and picking these children up, some of those journalists from the UK. And Mark Regev, who was the Israeli ambassador to the UK, was interviewed by Jon Snow. Watch it. You can still find it on YouTube. Jon Snow said, targeting children, and you can see the anger on Jon Snow. And this is at that time. They got rid of Jon Snow. They changed the editorial team of Channel 4 News, because Channel 4 News used to be, it wasn't like BBC and all that nonsense. It was hard hitting. And he was like, you targeted children and you intentionally killed them. And Mark Regev was like, just shrugging, like, yeah, and what? You know, his attitude was very much like that, and that always stayed with me. I thought, what an evil demon. He's a nasty piece of work, honestly. I was so excited, Heidi. You got my hopes so high. Let's just focus on burning Haifa now.
Me
Everybody
too,
watching,
There's
please
Khaleesi. Me
some
share,
some
too.
more
reshare,
breaking
I
news,
especially
know
guys.
on
Some
some
more
Rumble.
breaking
I
news.
need your
characters.
help
Just some
on
more breaking
Rumble
news.
and
The
YouTube.
Israeli Defense Forces spokesman appeals to the public. They're doubling down on this now, guys, to not publish locations or recordings of the missile strikes coming from Iran, from strategic sites throughout the occupied territories. And you guys remember they arrested like what 4 or 5 of their own civilians about this and in the previous attacks.
So somebody from Israel posted the names, right, of like specific names of exactly where these strikes were happening, and somebody else said underneath to Grok, can you give me the geolocation specifically of these, the coordination of this? And Grok responded, I cannot, because it could be used sensitively in this current situation. Grok gave some really gay response about why they weren't going to give out the coordinates of that, because they wanted to safeguard people and stuff. Freaking Zio Grok.
Khaleesi, about those planes, by the way, it wasn't just four. That's how it looked. It's 21. It's 21 refueling planes have left US.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? You're right, because I've been looking at that, and I did DM Suleiman, because I'm on this new device and I haven't got all the other apps on here. So I just DM'd him some stuff on that. Why have these 21 planes and all these refuel? Doc, what's your president doing? Why have all this stuff left America and going to the east? Nathan, jump in.
My guess is that they're resupplying defensive armament only. That's my guess. You can laugh all you want, but that's my guess.
I mean, the only reason why, let me just have, all right, go ahead, Nathan.
Sorry,
Nathan?
quickly, let me get these in. Right, so, because they're coming in fast. Right. So we got rockets fell on occupation army camp in occupied Galilee and fires broke out. You guys are gonna have to bear with me because obviously it's written the way it's written, and it's not like written in a language that I would normally speak. So sometimes if I hesitate, it's because my brain is telling me to change the word. All right, so just bear with me. Okay. So according to Israeli sources, Israelis killed in Bnei Brak area of Tel Aviv due to the Iranian missiles. The numbers are much greater, I guess, than what they're saying. Also, Israeli Electric Company, as a result of damage that occurred at several sites in the center of the country, the local electricity grid has been damaged. Electric company crews are working in the field to remove security hazards, particularly the risk of electrocution from severed electrical wires. According to Israeli media, two additional bodies have been recovered from. Oh, that's an old one. Sorry, let me skip past that. So also they're saying that the military installation in Negev was struck. Also, one in Galilee. They're saying fires have broken out. Also,
I may break away from this and do
missile
my
that
own
fell in
thing.
Haifa
A lot of this was a
approximately
test, but I
5
might break
hours
away and
ago
just do my own deal
is
because
believed to
these guys
have
driving
struck
me
the
insane.
electricity and oil facilities. And then there's one more. There's reports of injuries reported at a Jewish synagogue in Bnei Brak. Okay, so we got a big update here. This is saying approximately 90 injured individuals have been evacuated to receive treatment in hospitals, two of whom are in critical condition due to the Iranian missiles. Yeah, I think I'll leave it for there, but it is coming in fast, guys. So if I interrupt you, I really apologize.
Nah, Nathan, you don't have to apologize. You're a G. So Joel, what do you think these jets and stuff are going east for then?
You know, just to kind of veer from your question a second, because for me, they're just refueling, but not just, they're going to refuel planes. The thing I've been looking into, which truth knows, I don't know a lot about rockets and stuff like that. So I've been looking into it. And because I'm wondering, the one attack we saw with the 40 ballistic missiles, they weren't hypersonic, they were ballistic that hit Haifa this morning. I'm like, why weren't they taken out? Like, how are they not taken out? And I start to wonder because ballistic, eh, I mean, they're pretty easy to calculate where they're going to go, pretty easy to figure out how to take them out. It wasn't bombarding
Joel,
the
I'm
system. It
finding
was
this
only
really
40.
troubling. Why are you focusing on why Israel failed on taking them out?
No, I'm focusing on the fact like, is this being a setup? Because why are some of these get like the hypersonics? Totally understand how they're getting through. It doesn't make total sense why 40 ballistic and only 10 get taken out. It doesn't make sense to me.
They're overloading their defense systems. I mean, it does make sense.
But they're not. They're not sending drones first. They're not doing what they did in the past. Like they're not following. Before, when they would get through, they would send like shorter stuff. They would send drones, overload the system. This morning they
Well,
sent
that was in
40.
True Promise 1 and
That
2,
was only
but
True Promise 1 and True Promise 2. They
yeah.
only sent. You can go look it up. I mean, I documented this in
He-
detail.
he-
They
yeah,
only
but
sent 200
truth. Look at
ballistics
the
only.
Yeah, but remember last time before this current conflict, they sent like I don't remember what it was, like 2,000 rockets or whatever it
This
was
guy's talking
in
as if
order
they're
to
going to
overload the
continue to do the
system,
same
and they
thing
had all
over and
the
over
Yeah,
again,
sent
which they're
2,000.
not going to
Okay,
do.
they sent in True Promise 1. They sent a total of around 300 missiles and drones. There's about 140 drones roughly, and the
Right.
rest was split between cruise missiles and ballistics. The ballistics are the ones that struck, so they learned ballistics is the way to go. Those are the ones that will obviously strike the targets, and their
Yes,
hypersonics
that's
are guaranteed,
correct.
but they're more expensive. So their objective was to deplete their old stock. So the
But
True Promise 2,
didn't 95 of them get like 95% get
Guys,
taken
I'm
out or
just going to
something?
interrupt one
that's True
second.
Promise
There
2.
is a tweet in the nest, and do you know what? Tel Aviv is being barbecued. Literally, the gates of hell have opened on Tel Aviv,
This is
on Yafa.
insane. This
Please
is
share that
absolutely
tweet. Please
insane.
retweet it. Like, literally, I want every child that saw
Wow.
children burning in tents in Gaza to see these buildings in Tel Aviv burning. Every child that saw
It's going
people
to be
being burnt
interesting to
alive.
see what ends
It's
up
bricks
happening as a
and
result of
mortar.
this.
It's bricks and mortar. This is bricks and mortar burning. So I don't want any of this. Well, why are you celebrating, things burning? It's bricks and freaking mortar. I'm not celebrating people being burnt alive, but you know what? It's retribution, at least a little bit. The inconvenience it's causing for Netanyahu to actually manage Israel in this situation, bring it on. Literally, share that video, please, guys. It's in the nest. I want this discussion to continue, Joe, because that's really interesting that you think this might be a setup. And you know what? These things happen, Joa. So I'm not going to rule that out. I'm quite open-minded about these things. There's something fishy. I want to go to
Yeah, I'm just asking questions. You know what I mean? Like I don't remember the first like I don't remember the names of the operations, but I remember there
Just
was a
True
time
Promise
when they
1 and
took
True
True
out
Promise
Promise 2.
1.
95. Yeah, True Promise 2, they took out 95%
No,
of the
that's a
stuff.
lie. That's a lie, Joa. That's Zionist propaganda. That's a lie.
No, he's saying they landed their targets struck
No,
95%,
are
at
you
a
saying, Joa,
95%
that they
rate.
intercepted 95 of them or 95% landed?
I thought the first time before this conflict, remember the last time there was a
Yes.
conflict and then Iran didn't retaliate the very last time? That time where they like had pre-announced it and gave them like 20-minute head start that they were going to send whatever number that they sent. I
In
remember they
both.
took out most of them. And that's why, like,
Mm,
why are they not taking out most of them now? Like, what changed? Because these are just ballistics. They're not hypersonic.
But again, those are True Promise 1 and 2, and that's actually false. They did not take out 95% of them. Those numbers are actually false. But again, in those operations, in truth, you can elaborate on this. But they sent out their oldest tech. I mean, they sent out their. It wasn't even anything close to what they're sending out now.
Look, there's 2 points about True Promise 1 and 2. Number one, I already explained it to you. So the first they sent drones for True Promise 1, about 130, 140. Then the rest were cruise and ballistics. The ballistics landed. So it maybe 8 or 9 out of 10 of the ballistics landed. Most of the crews didn't, and none of the drones were just meant to test out the air defense systems. That's True Promise 1. And then Israel responded, or sorry, then there were the assassinations, and then there's True Promise 2. Israel's response was a joke to True Promise 1. True Promise 2 is just ballistics. About 90% of them landed. But here's the thing, because of those 2 attacks were isolated, Israel did its utmost to cover up all its damage. So for instance, True Promise 1, Nevatim was struck, Ramon base was struck, so was a nuclear facility in the
So,
Golan Heights.
so they
Israel
don't need
tried
to
to hide that.
overwhelm the system, basically, is what you're telling me.
They don't need to
They,
anymore. No, they can
okay,
beat it
cool.
without even overwhelming the system because the ballistics are fat. They're using, I think, they're supersonic ballistics. They're fast enough, and I guess they jam the radars as well. They spoof it, so they're able to beat the air defense systems. I mean, Israel's
All right,
claiming that they're just
that kills my
malfunctioning. They're not.
theory. It kills my theory. I was just making sure. That's all. That we're not getting set up for
They're,
something. We're not.
it seems like they've cracked the code to breach the air defense systems, and so has Hezbollah, so has Ansarallah. I
I'm so
mean,
sorry to interject 1 second. There's a video in the nest, guys. Israeli settler recording Iranian strikes in Tel Aviv gets injured after a missile falls close to him. Look at that. So literally, this settler has one freaking job. it is to record the strike coming down, but he misses another one and the missile falls so close to him, he gets injured. Like, you have one job and you can only do that, is just to do a bit of footage on your phone and avoid a frigging missile coming from the sky, but you couldn't do that. Guys, the tweet is in the nest. It's brilliant. Watch it. Retweet it. I'm doing Brother Hussein's job for him, but whatever. Casey, jump in. I know you had your hand up, and then we'll go back to Truth as well.
Yeah, I guess it was earlier, but I wanted to say, you know, when you're asking
If this
about
guy does not have a job in Hollywood as a cameraman, that's a fail, or a stuntman.
when you're asking about like
Casey, I'm so sorry to interrupt. Just another.
sorry, no.
I have to do your job. Breaking. There's a building that has collapsed with people inside, and Benai Brak. I don't know if I pronounced that right. And the search operations are underway for the bodies that are underneath the rubble. That tweet is up in the nest as well.
Jump in, Casey. Thanks, brother.
Sorry, yeah, my bad. I'm like having delays on my computer and stuff. All right, yeah. So yeah, when you're asking about like the jets, why are they going over there, and everybody's like, oh, probably just to refill, you know, refuel the tanker or whatever, you're refueling tankers or whatever. But still, to me, it's still like, this is how we gonna, so what are we gonna compromise our way to the point where we are fully engaged and it's just gonna be, well, you know, we just had to send a few over there and, well, you know, like it's just always, well, you know, right? And I mean, how did we even get to this point? Like, it's just frustrating for me. The way is so, like, taken so easily. Like, it's just, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but it is frustrating for me because I know we're going to have troops going over there and the whole bit. Nothing changes, you know, nothing changes. They haven't changed any legislation to say that we're not supposed to help them anyway. And, you know, it's just Trump is going to get away with it. He is. And yeah, I'm going to say Trump because he was voted to be different, right? Wasn't he supposed to be the anti-war president? It's just baffling to me. And I can't tell you the frustration. While I'm here, like, look, I'm enjoying the justice. And by the way, and these are just my thoughts real quick. And by the way, nobody's going to make me feel bad for enjoying the justice. And I'm not trying to be funny. Khaleesi, you don't even have to keep saying brick and mortar. We already know that we're more humane than these people. They didn't say brick and mortar. They thought it was funny when these people were burning alive in the whole bit and said, oh, well, you shouldn't have started the war. War is ugly and all of
Just
that.
I sent some more breaking news in the nest.
Yeah.
It's not in the nest. I posted it. Sorry.
Is it the one with the photos, Sully?
Yeah.
Yeah, guys. So up in the nest, I just posted Sully's post up there. Some photos. Look at these photos, guys. This is pure carnage. I mean, this is the results of the Iranian bombardment on the country's center, showing complete devastation. Just take a look at those photos. They look absolutely surreal. Back to you, Casey.
No, I'm not going to even keep going any longer. Those are my thoughts, and it's just, you know, just watching all of this happen. But I won't feel bad for my thoughts either. So.
No, don't feel bad, Casey. If the people that know me know that I also worked for the Syrian embassy in Washington D.C. and I saw with my own eyes every time we came to the peace table in D.C. Every single time, be it the Palestinian side, the Syrian side, the Israelis always pushed back from the peace table every time because their mission is a greater Israel project. So hope, and the reason why that, and it's not about being excited and cheering on what's happening and all of this destruction. It's about to me, it's justice. This is justice because I saw the toppling of Bashar Assad and the toppling of the axis of resistance. We were the Syria was the backbone of the resistance, and we always knew the
Yeah, just a quick interjection. So they've been able to
to
recover two
get on with
bodies.
it. But now we see why they did a strategic patience outlook on this because now look, it's just like every day, every second cheering things on. It's about justice for the girl that was in the tent that got caught on fire, alive, for the mother that was holding flour on the ground and crying after she got shot. And she got shot with flowers. Did you see how they crawl on the floor for water and for food and no humanitarian aid in there? It's not about cheering. they were cheering. They were cheering on when they were in Palestine, looking at the cruise. They had real estate cruises to show them which place that they were able to set casinos at after they got bombarded. After the Gazans got bombarded, they used to put their barbecue and watch the Gazans' kids get raped and pillaged. So this isn't about cheering it on. This is about the true Promise 3 justice. This is justice right
Hey
now.
Heidi, do you think in the U.S. if I wanted to pay the right
Just some breaking
Hin's
news.
name on the missile, they would arrest me?
Breaking
If
news.
the
Cinema.
Yeah, Casey, you want to grab that?
No, I don't see it. I just heard Suleiman say breaking news. I
Yeah.
can't see it. But
It's up in the nest. Guys, breaking news. The U.S. sends large number of military assets, including 24 tanker aircraft to the Middle East. And I think we touched on that earlier, but the tweet's up in the nest.
Yeah,
But Hussein,
seems like the US is entering the war.
didn't Kim Jong Un from North Korea said that they will also help no matter what? So it doesn't matter if the U.S. is sending anything. This is just so bad. Like, it's gonna get worse by the minute, I swear. So about the whole you're putting your name in the missiles. Well, if True Promise 3 cuts in to the Greater Israel Plan, it'll be a big relief to the Americans as well. Think about it. You all won't have to pay your taxes for Israel no more. America can be what America used to be.
Thanks for that,
I don't
Heidi.
see a lot of support.
Thanks for
Like,
Heidi. I just want to welcome Myron and Chief onto the stage. Thanks for coming, guys. Jump in with your thoughts. Go ahead, Joe.
yeah, I was just saying I don't see a lot of support online. Like I don't know if it's just me or I'm like in an echo chamber, but online I search all day. When I'm not on this space, I'm like writing on people's comments, calling out their bullshit, and always tagging it with um, Zionism dies without lies. Um, and I don't see I barely see any posts from people who are not Israeli that are like we need to go help Israel, and politicians. All I see are politicians and Israelis. I don't see Americans like
And
speaking up.
Indians, Joa, and Indians.
Yeah, and Indians, but Indians like I think it's because of the whole Pakistani thing. That's the only reason.
And Joe,
No, it's because they're low IQ idiots.
Joe, even on Charlie Kirk and Thomas Massey, on both of them, it was like I think 85 and then 96% anti-Israeli support from America, and that's with like tens of thousands of people collectively voting. And I know those are right-leaning, but I would assume even the most mainstream of polls is probably at best 60-40, if not 70-30, against supporting it. It's
But
unbelievable.
Ian,
if
I'm
that's
so
right
sorry to
leaning,
interrupt you. I will give the mic right back to you guys. Guys, there's a tweet in the nest. It's breaking scenes from Tel Aviv. The Kafra Castle, or what used to be the Kafra Castle, I guess, because when I'm looking at that picture, it just looks like a big poof of flames. So in those flames somewhere used to be Kafra Castle. But anyway, guys, the tweet's in the nest. Please share it. Please retweet it. Ian, go ahead. Mic back to you, and Joa, thanks.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that I'd be curious. And when Myron was in here earlier, I was considering asking this question, but didn't really get a lull. But the thing that I'd be so curious about is the curiosity and the noticing, if you will, is kind of in light speed at this point. And the challenge is that once people notice the patterns, it's not like they're kind of on board with whatever the mainstream narrative is. They're completely opposed to it. And so if you have even if it's only say 10, 15, 20% of the country that has quote unquote noticed the subversion of America, that 15 to 20% is motivated, just like Joe was saying, to make comments under every single piece of propaganda. And so even if they have, let's say 50, 60, 70% of the quote unquote normies in the tank with going to support Israel, if you have 20 or 30 or maybe even 40% of the country that is vehemently in opposition, and not only in opposition, but in complete opposition to any and all support of Israel, it seems like it would be at this point suicidal for not just Trump, but essentially any Western politician to get behind Israel and Netanyahu. So I'd be kind of curious from Myron. I mean,
That's
you've
an
been out on the streets talking
interesting
with lots of
point.
people. What in what world
Ian,
could
I'm
they do
just
it?
gonna, I know you want to ask a question, just 1 second. I'm so sorry to do this, but Justin, guys, there's a tweet in the nest. The Haifa refinery, which was targeted by Iranian missile strikes, supplies Europe with oil and energy. freaking hell, we're going to have to pay the price now for Israel's shenanigans because oil and gas is going to get more expensive here. That Haifa refinery supplies Europe with oil and gas. You could see it in the nest. Please retweet it. Sorry, Ian, back.
That
Yeah, no,
doesn't even
and
make
just around,
sense. That doesn't even
yeah,
make sense, to be honest.
and just to round it out, it's basically just, and I'd be curious for Myron or
Wait,
anybody
one
else.
second, Joy. Is that not right? 1 second, 'cause I don't want to tweet someone
I'm
that's
gonna
not
look
right.
it up before I say something, but logically, it's not making sense. That's coming from there.
You check it, because if not, I'll delete
Yeah,
it
I'll check
quickly.
it. I'll check. No, I'm saying it doesn't make sense that they supply Europe, but I'll look. Give me 5
Yeah,
minutes.
that's what I mean. Because if it is, then I'll delete it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I'll
what I
check.
mean.
They probably steal from us. Steven.
Wait a minute. Are you
Anyway,
asking
Ian,
if
go ahead.
America supplies Europe? Is that your question?
No, whether the Haifa refinery supplies Europe.
I think Haifa supplies Asia.
So they don't supply Europe at all.
Highly doubt it. I'll look it up. Joe will look
Can
it
you
up,
check?
but I think it's Asia.
Can you check it? Because then we can correct that, isn't it?
Ian, jump in.
Yeah, I'm just kind of curious. I mean,
It does. Sorry,
so think
it
about it. You've
doesn't,
got,
Suleiman. It doesn't. It's like negligible how much oil comes from there.
Does it supply? Does it supply anyone?
I'll let you know.
Japan, South Korea, China, Asia.
Okay, I
Yeah,
deleted
only
it.
Norway and Europe, by the way. Azerbaijan, things like that.
I deleted it. I don't want to put fake news out.
Go ahead, Ian.
yeah, I mean, basically to round it out, if you think of like, let's just think through this somewhat logically. Even if they could sell, let's say 70, 80, 90% of Americans or Westerners on going to support Israel, it's kind of like suggesting a house isn't on fire. And you might be able to to trick, say, 70 or 80% of people that aren't paying close attention. But the thing is that the more money and resources and
So Laura
time.
Loomer just posted and said it's about to go down. So I don't know if that is in relation to the massive US deployment, where at least 21 to 24 refueling tankers have been moved to the Middle East. And sorry, aircraft carriers and your refueling tankers. I mean, this is concerning. This is like a massive.
Hugely concerning.
Just because Israel is getting destroyed, because I thought it was like strength. It's all about strength. Now, basically, US is gonna enter.
This is this year. It's the U.S. is going to get involved
So,
now.
Suleiman, I wasn't going to say anything, right? But I'm going to say it now, just in case. There is an account that I think we all know of that predicted at the beginning of May everything that we're witnessing now. This account said at the beginning of May that don't be fooled by this Trump Netanyahu negotiation, the media headlines of Trump's insisting on a resolution, etc., etc. This account said at the beginning of May, they're in this together. Come
Why don't you
June,
just
they're
say
going
who
to
it
do
is?
XYZ, they're going to strike, Trump's going to play on the sidelines.
Because I guarantee
America's
I
going to
know who it
support it
is.
fully. Everything, and like the scientists are going to be hit, everything chapter and verse. And do you know, I was reading what the account said today. It is over for Iran. They're going to go for Khamenei once Khamenei's been taken out, and they will take him out. There isn't a successor. This is the mistake Iran made, that they didn't build a successor in his place. And when they take Khamenei out, there's going
You're
to be
right, people. The
pandemonium
U.S.
in
has been
that
involved. You're
country,
right,
and Israel will
but
get
like
the regime
directly
change
with
it wants.
weapons and
And
everything
this is
now. But
somebody
you're
who's
right.
pro-Palestinian, anti-Zionist and stuff, but just really has a finger on the pulse. And it sticks in my gut when I read that today. It really sticks in my gut. And I don't know what America's planning. Doc was like, yes, nothing, refueling. I mean, I'm sorry, but 21 jets and all these frigging tankers don't go there. Just what the frigging refueling? I mean, are there just people just sat there like to refuel? What are they going there to refuel? There's something going down. And for Laura Loomer to tweet that, it's even more worrying. I mean, she's dumb anyway, but it's worrying. Do you know what I mean? I don't know, Suleiman.
See, that's what I was saying earlier, Khaleesi. I don't know if you were in the room or not.
But
But I
Khaleesi, that's
said
not
that,
how it works. There's already a
but I was,
successor
I'm
nominated.
sorry,
They'll
I
go
was
through a voting
talking.
process. Yeah, well,
Can you guys
go
hear
ahead.
me? Thank you. Is that this isn't over. And what I'm really concerned about is when the US actually really gets involved. It's great that we're doing as well as we're doing right now. But did you really think the US was not going to do anything? So, and then what's left, right?
Well, the reality is that Israel
know,
can't really defend itself. That's been
Exactly.
a lie that's been pushed out for years, right? Saying like, oh, we have a right to defend ourselves. But the reality is they really can't. If it were not for U.S. backing and the enormous amount of aid we give them, the enormous amount of cover we provide for them at the UN, if it wasn't for all the military, I mean, we gave them $12 billion so far.
This guy
right?
states all the
In just
obvious
a few
shit,
months.
by the way.
So for the Israelis to sit there and say we have a right to defend ourselves, we are going to defend ourselves. No, what it should really say is we reserve the right for the United States to always intervene and help us out and defend ourselves. Because if Israel had to rely upon itself for self-defense, they would be taken over literally within days from the Arab world. Also, they would have to move differently and be far more diplomatic and far more appeasing to the Palestinians. But the reason why they behave so recklessly and they do the things that they do and start fights with their neighbors and do false flags and run all these clandestine operations and, violate sovereignty of all these different Arab countries is because they know that they have the United States there to always back them up when they make these really bad decisions that we are going to pull them out. And right now, we're at a crossroads right now. Like Israel's getting pummeled. They've never been hit this hard in a very long time. And they're starting to feel the effects of, the destruction that they've caused. If the U.S. doesn't intervene at some point, they're going to have to capitulate. But I'll turn it to somebody else.
But the thing is so right now with I guess the American involvement, aside from refueling, like we're sending again all these carriers and personnel, equipment, all that stuff over there. And the troubling thing is when Trump said not too long ago, talking about America First, what's America First mean? And it went from America First being anti-interventionist, fixing their own problems, not being involved with other people's messes, to saying, we can't have Iran have a nuclear thing. It's not peaceful, and we have to do pretty much do something about that. Like this entire quote from that, I'll read it back for you guys right now, which is very troubling when I saw this actually. He said this. Considering I'm the one that developed America First, and considering that the term wasn't used until I came along, I think I'm the one who decides that. For those people who say they want peace, you can't have peace if Iran has a nuclear weapon. So for all those wonderful people who don't want to do anything about Iran having a nuclear weapon, that's not peace. So what do you do with that if it's not peace? What do? You intervene, you get involved. And that's the opposite of what America First should be. We're pretty much be putting our own people or personnel at risk. We're going to be bombing another country and civilians most likely. And we're going to be starting the cycle all over again where we have Middle East War 2.0, where who knows how long. And if we are going to be attacking, Iran, is Pakistan going to get involved? Are they going to attack things too, or our own people, our own troops, personnel? It's a big problem here, and we're being dragged into this because of Israel. 100%. Like Israel needs us for the air defense systems and us for military assistance. Like if this were like just a like Mexico firing some missiles.
Just
And
some more breaking news,
Yeah.
Chief. I'll get back to you. Somebody want to read it? Khaleesi or
Yeah, I got it, Tilly.
Yeah.
People unite. You're right.
I got it.
I
So
certainly hope that doesn't
breaking
happen.
the
That will
IRGC
be
official
not
statement,
good.
the Iranian Revolutionary Guard official statement. We executed moments ago a new wave of attacks against the Zionist entity, stronger and more destructive than the previous one. Our missile operations targeted command and control systems belonging to the Zionist entity. We employed innovative methods, information technologies, and advanced equipment in the operation. The strikes caused confusion in the enemy's multi-layered defense systems to the extent that some of its defense systems fired upon each other. Fire! So they literally caused confusion to the extent that some of the defense systems fired upon each other. Guys, the tweet is in the nest. Please share it. Please retweet it. I see Israel Exposed has already put the kind of whatever they call it image of the planes being flying east. And yeah, Brokey's right. Iran are cooking. I'm just looking at some of the comments. Guys, please share it. Please retweet it. It's in the nest. And if we take anything out of the nest and you miss it, please just go to Suleiman's profile. It's all there. Thanks for that. Chief, back to you. Sorry for that.
Yeah. So I think the point is like if imagine Mexico fired some rockets and blew up some Texas facility or some I guess a base or something like that, or even killed Texas generals or members of the military, we would be bombing Mexico immediately, and no one would tell us otherwise. But because America is playing defense and UK is playing defense and the West is playing defense for Israel. Whenever Israel bombs a nuclear facility, it bombs a power plant or refineries, it executes nuclear scientists, it kills IRGC members and generals and leadership. When all that happens, you expect there to be a massive response. Because of just this Western intervention, it never happens. It's completely one sided. This is antagonism from Israel over and over and over again. And we are being dragged into this war because of Israel, because of their interests, because of what they want, which is, of course, greater Israel, control of the West Bank, of Gaza, of Palestine, and to rein in all these Arab nations as well, to have complete control of the Middle East. That's their objective. And they're being emboldened right now because, we'll go and defend Israel. We'll go and we're sending all these, carriers and personnel there right now. It's a big problem.
Just some more breaking news and go
Yeah.
straight back to Chief. I put a tweet in the nest, and basically what it is Israel is something me and Truth has been saying from day zero, that Israel is trying to hide their losses and the destruction, and they're trying to have people arrested who are reporting on the destruction that's happening in Israel. So if you look at this Vivid account, which likely is an Indian account, but maybe Israeli, so unbelievable. Arabs on the rooftop in Haifa are broadcasting live and filming the impacts of Iranian ballistic missiles to show our enemy where they landed. Israel, please should arrest them for treason, and then they start tagging them. And then Mossad commentary, which is a spoof account, but despite that, it's not Mossad account, but it still is an Israeli account. There are a group of criminals who are filming from Haifa area and broadcasting live to our enemies, and then they put in the Israeli police and Ben Gvir. So there is a blackout. They're attempting to have people arrested. So even the videos and images we're getting when we're like, whoa, whatever, it's only a small amount of the reality of how bad the devastation really is. And I thought it's an important point to say
They're
why it's
getting
happening live.
pummeled,
We put
and
the videos that are happening live just for you to understand the implications of the reality of what's happening there.
Yeah,
yeah, this is
Chief,
incredible.
finish your
I
point, and then
mean,
I
they
want
are
Chief to
getting
add his two
pummeled
just to
cents.
and they
clarify,
are
by the
getting
way,
embarrassed.
there's a funny community note about this for Vivid Prowess or whatever. From the note pretty much says that he's an Indian who's in India, and he's talking about missiles flying over his house or something, just for context. So yeah, I don't think he's in Israel right now. I think he's trying to make stuff up, honestly.
No, Chief. Just
Um,
to just to tell you, Chief, something. Just for whatever it's worth, even community notes says that he's an Indian.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't think he's hiding. I think he's on a server farm or something, posting about
No, he
this.
And
lies. He claims
it's
he's in
really
Israel.
sad that
Yeah,
your
yeah, exactly.
grandson had to
But
go through
regardless, I
what
think
he had to
that
go through.
it is funny that we're
And
seeing
it's the
Israel
same
telling people,
people who
don't
made
film
those
this, don't record
decisions
this.
about the jab
But
that are
people
still
already
running
have
things.
phones. They have
Instead of being kicked
smartphones. They
out
have
and people who are
cameras. They have their own
smart running
eyes and
things,
word of mouth, and
it's the
they're
same
telling
people
people about
who push
this.
the jab
And
are still
I,
running
I, I
things.
think there is a portion of destruction or damage we have not seen yet. I think even when Israel struck Iran, we did see some videos there as well. I mean, I think in terms of how much intelligence can be gathered from a video of a blown up facility, you can probably assess the damage and calibrate and see exactly what the situation is down there and if it needs further targeting or not.
Sorry, I
But
got a quick update. Just one
yeah,
sec. So this is it. I'll be quick. Confirmed by eyewitnesses from the Negev to Nablus news channel. Nevatim airport in the Negev completely destroyed by Iranian missiles in the latest barrage with direct hits. It is an American military airbase, and a large number of casualties and fatalities have been transferred from the airport. That's it.
yeah.
There's more. I mean, there's like Suleiman was saying earlier, the numbers are conservative. They're much higher. It's got to be in the hundreds, if not 1,000, for injuries and casualty deaths. Well, many will succumb to their injuries. In addition to those actually dead, they're only claiming like 10 or 12 maybe. In addition to those that are still trapped under the rubble, they just won't be able to extract on time. So Israel will, of course, delay, avoid, and gaslight on reporting accurate numbers just to maintain morale and, of course, to still maintain that mythical aura of invincibility. Sorry, Chief. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah, no, I guess I'll just say in terms of the intelligence you can get from video. I mean, you can get I guess the damage assessment. You can figure out if your missiles were off by a little bit. Figure out if it needs further bombing or not. But it's funny because seeing these accounts saying jail these people, jail them, jail them. But I mean, I think it's honestly a wasted effort if they're really focused on whatever's going on in that region. I mean, I don't think that they're sure about a couple of, journalists filming a video of a war that Israel started. So, I mean, that's pretty much my perspective about it. But I mean, I guess a better question would be asking. I mean, in terms of this conflict, do you think it'll be lasting for a few more weeks? Like, how long term do you think this entire thing will be going on for?
They said they're going to go a few more weeks at least, both on the Iranian side and Israel as well.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they wave the white flag sooner. I mean, Israel's already begging for a coalition to come in. UK and France, the US are in. Jordan will do what it's also Saudi, UAE, and Qatar. So they've got their little coalition. Iran's calling for its own coalition, besides Pakistan and, well, probably Lebanon and Yemen. I don't think anyone else. Saudi's out, obviously, and they want Turkey, and they're NATO, so that's not going to happen. But yeah, we could be looking at a regional war.
Hey,
Yeah.
Chief, could I challenge everyone's assumption on who benefits from the war?
The banksters.
Just
Yeah.
just some tweet in the nest, and then we'll go straight to you, Simon. Concern, just check out because I'm still pulling tweets out, so you can just watch it. But yeah, there's a tweet in the nest. That's done. What's in? Okay, I'll read it.
No, I don't see it yet, Sully. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no worries. I'll read it. No problem. Air defense system at the Nevertim Air Base was hit by the latest rocket barrage. Truth, what did you say? Did you say it was? Did you say
The
that
air, the airport, the airspace have been struck heavily. There's a lot of casualties. Of course, we're not reporting how many numbers. And just to remind everybody, Nevatim's their most important base, they claim anyway, where they have the hangars for the F-35s. That obviously, I'm not sure if they've been damaged as well. They might have moved them, but and it's also heavily guarded with air defense systems that obviously failed. But they've struck that before. They even struck that during True Promise 1. They struck it again in True Promise 2. This is the third or fourth time they've struck it now. So, but this was probably the heaviest barrage, and we're not able to see. I mean, they're going to cover that up as much as they can, other than whatever live footage some of these brave cameramen are willing to capture and post. So that's a big deal.
I guess
Are you
Simon.
guys seeing the reports that Khomeini's dead? Like,
I've
supposedly
heard,
it's
yeah,
on
I've heard
Italian
that.
news. It's on Italian news, by the way. I know a
No,
lot of people on
They have a
here are so,
tendency.
I've
So,
heard these
so Joe, they
rumors
have a
like
tendency to want to steal headlines when Iran does this. They did this yesterday as well. They were claiming assassinations of the Al Houthi guy as well. He's one of the commanders for the Yemeni forces, and it turned out it was false. It was an attempted assassination, and it failed. So they're just trying to steal the headlines. Again, this is media and propaganda warfare. They're competing, right, for the
yeah,
headlines. And so they're
yeah. I
trying to
don't
steal
believe.
the headlines because they've suffered so heavily today. It's even worse than yesterday, it seems. And so they're just trying to claim something that's big, but it's false.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't buy that at all. I mean, like I saw a bunch of Israeli accounts saying, "Oh, he's dead" or whatever. It's like there's not really any evidence or anything, that's corroborating that.
Iran would report it if it was true.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, we would probably have heard a lot more and had a lot more information, whether it be like videos or even just like pictures, and that's not happening right now. There's no indication of that. I do think though that they are trying to push for regime change 100%. They. I mean, apparently, reports are that Trump said no to, at least for now, to getting rid of the Iranian leader. And the question is, of course, like who would be filling that spot if he was assassinated
He might be
in
lying again, though, right?
right,
Just like he
exactly.
told Iranians, he's told Israel not to strike. They struck anyway. Remember, this is just for this. It's once again art
Yeah,
of deception.
Just some more breaking news, guys, real quick.
yeah.
Missiles launched from Israel fall within its territories, and massive explosion at the
I
Nevatim.
heard about that.
Yeah, massive.
Iron Dome failed.
Yeah, based. So it was basically a malfunction in the air defense systems in Nevatim. So the tweets up in the nest. It's pretty crazy.
Even last time, also, like, so when Iran sent all these drones in, and like a few weeks, like I guess a few months or so ago, their own missile defense systems also went up in the air, went back down on their own launcher, pretty much. This happened last time as well, so looks like they have
It
not fixed
happened
that.
to the occupied area of Golan Heights, if you recall, when they killed all those kids, and then they tried to blame the Palestinians for that, when in fact it was Israel that did it. and the ambulance driver actually saw it. The cab driver witnessed it and attested to it. Yet Israel still tried to lie. And then I think it was the Druze family, the Syrian Druze or whatever they were. They actually kicked out Smotrich and Ben Gvir, whoever showed up at the funerals. Were like, we want nothing to do with you. They knew who did it. The world knew who did it, but Israel still tried to lie and blame Palestinians. It was another false flag.
Yeah. So I want to get, like, I hear a lot of people say that these wars are for Israel. I just want to make sure everyone understands the flow of funds correctly and who benefits from this. So Trump comes along and says, I want one big, beautiful bill. He says we need $1.5 trillion. That money is created by issuing bonds. Those bonds go to the banks that issue them. And so they receive the interest on that debt. So far, that's a US bank that is traded upon the US stock market. And you get two benefits from it in America. One is you get a higher GDP print because the government creates fake GDP to make it look like the American economy is growing faster. The banks get the interest on the debt, which increases the share price of the US company. The US companies are owned by anyone that's got a pension. So the American people get the higher share price, the banks get the interest, and you get to say we got the fastest growing economy. Then the money is sent through over to Israel. Israel then engages in covert operations, which are done by the CIA and Mossad in cooperation together in order to agitate a war. The war then comes back to American contractors, which is American listed military industrial complex companies. Their profit goes up, America gets more GDP. Their share price goes up, pensioners get a higher return, or anyone that's invested in those assets. In order to agitate a war, let's say you sent over $3 billion to Israel, and let's say the entire history of Israel, you've sent over $300 billion. They created $7 trillion of revenue for American corporations to pump the stock market, give you a higher GDP, and create some fake GDP. The banks get to charge the interest. And so it is a very profitable trade for America, the American economy, but it was created with fake money. That money was created by a bank. The bank got to get that free bond by creating digital dollars. When that bank creates the money, the American people pay through inflation. So you pay a higher price, but you transfer the money over to American corporations. The only ones that benefit from the increase in share price are the ones that own the shares. The ones that own the shares are the ones that actually have access to those assets and invest in the American stock market. So Israel is a mechanism for laundering money for the benefit of the American wealth transfer away from the American people and over to those that control the share prices. So it is, I know it's easy, it's very convenient for America to blame it on Israel, because when you want to say we would never do a genocide or we would never commit this, when the reality is that the military companies control your CIA and Mossad and various other deep state actors, and it is a money laundering organization in order to steal money from the American people and hand it over to American corporations. That's why America gets involved in every war, because America, the economy, is the net beneficiary. America, the banks, are the net beneficiary. And so to say that you're fighting Israel's war, Israel is America, but they just need plausible deniability to say when they get caught with this, we would never do this. We're exporting democracy. We're standing up for freedom. But the reality is, if you want to blame it on Israel, you can. But Israel is simply a mechanism for stealing money from the American people and transferring it over to wealthy people in America. And your government never wants you to know that. So it's very convenient to say, we were blackmailed. We didn't kill JFK. It wasn't the CIA and Mossad together. It was Israel, and Israel owns us, and Israel controls us. And when we want to bribe all the politicians so they get the backhanders, we'll just send the money over to Israel, then it will come back to AIPAC, and then we can say it was Israel that controls our politicians, because we ain't evil, they're evil. And so when you actually follow the money, you understand that it is actually a very profitable trade, and it is actually inherently built into the dollar, the same dollar that gave you the world reserve currency and all the benefits that come from having the world reserve currency.
Just Sam, sorry, I had a few waited, but it got to a point where we've gone like 15 minutes behind on like 3 newses. So the first one is the air defense system at the Nevatim Air Base was hit by the flip. Where's it gone? I don't. 1 second. Just give me 2 seconds. I'm getting back up again.
They're
The first
begging for
one.
a ceasefire behind the scenes. Sorry, go ahead.
Air defense system at the Nevatim Air Base was hit by last barrage of rockets. Missiles launched from Israel fall within its own territory and a massive explosion at Nevatim Base due to a malfunction in the air defense system. This is according to Al Mayadeen. Then we got the longer one. The longer one, Hussein. Do you want to go through that one? Because I want to tweet the next thing out, few things out. And then basically you see the and then I wrote anti-Semitic Iron Dome hits his own people, because you see the Iron Dome hits and then fails and then hits his own people. But we got the long statement from the aerospace force of the IRGC. Hussein, are you okay to read that, bro?
Yeah, I got it. So the aerospace forces of the RGC statement. So it's quote, "Dear Iranian people, moments ago, a new decisive wave of missile attacks was launched as part of Operation True Promise 3, more powerful and more impactful than its predecessors. These precision strikes targeted the command and control centers of the oppressive Zionist entity, utilizing advanced operational methods supported by sophisticated intelligence and armament capabilities enhanced by the blood of the martyred leaders Bagheri, Salmani, and Hajizadeh, and other airspace heroes. The technology superiority led to the disruption of the enemy's multi-layered defense systems to the extent that some of its Patriot and defensive systems targeted each other, resulting in a major breach of the Zionist defense system, despite its full support from the United States and the Western countries and their provision of the latest technologies. Today, the prophecy of the martyred leaders has fulfilled, who repeatedly affirmed that Operation True Promise 3 and subsequent operations would be more painful, more accurate in targeting, and greater impact than previous operations. This operation has also proven the falsity of Zionist and American enemy assessments and clearly demonstrated the depth of intelligence and strategic failure in their calculations regarding the Islamic Republic. Today, we are witnessing the beginning of the collapse of the Zionist occupation entity. We direct a clear message to the supporters of this criminal entity. Precise and effective strikes will continue relentlessly until the elimination and complete disappearance of this artificial entity. End quote. Wow, powerful.
Also, there's another tweet in the nest. Sorry, Hussein, I know you did a bit of a long read there. You want to go through that? It's a good one. Basically, that tweet is by the Israeli security and military affairs expert, Yossi Melman, and he says Israel will end up begging for a ceasefire. His analysis is that this was a horrible decision to attack.
Is that the one with the Hebrew, right?
Yeah.
All right. So the euphoria was short-lived. On Friday morning, I asked whether it was even necessary to start a war, especially against the Iranians. The Shiites are historically willing to suffer. I mentioned their willingness to sacrifice as they demonstrated in the 8 years of attrition with Iraq. I recommended that we cut our losses and turn to Trump to stop the madness with a reasonable agreement. Otherwise, we will end up begging for a ceasefire and Iran will refuse.
This is crazy. I am seeing reports that the airbase is destroyed, but I just haven't got confirmation on it. Truth, what did you have on that?
For Nevatim,
Yeah.
I've got they won't tell us the extent of the damage. They're of course trying to. That's one of their biggest and most protected bases. I mean, they waited till day 3 to level it, but they've struck it before. That was Iran warned them too, after True Promise 1, that we can strike your best base. Israel just didn't learn. They kept poking the bear, and this time they leveled it. And there are a lot of casualties. Those casualties, by the way, It's where Mossad agents hang out too. They hung out there last time for Truth Promise 1. So they're going to be very mum about who's there.
Truth, you said
For sure.
they parked their F-35s there.
Yes. But they're going to hide that too. Look, they might have moved them because they learned after the first two True Promises, and they're like, Iran's going to hit it again. So if they're smart, they move them. But Israel's not going to disclose that more F-35s are destroyed. They've already lost 3 officially.
If we
Well, no,
see
remember
the
they.
if
Sorry, go
we
ahead.
see the refueling pains turn back, then we know that they definitely destroyed that airbase.
Yeah,
Hey,
Yes,
kept that
Kodo,
close to
that's
the
the
end for a
Truth,
long
point.
I'm
time.
If
curious for your
Iran has
what would be
nukes,
your assessment if
then
and
they could
obviously we're just
hold
playing war
Israel
games here,
back.
but let's
But it's
envision
really
that the
about
Iranian
regime
strikes
change.
are
That's what it's all about.
far more than Israel
And
expected.
no, I
Israel
don't
wants to
think
turn
Israel's
tail and
image
just say,
will
"Hey,
ever
we're
recover after
sorry.
this,
Here's the white flag."
especially after saying that
What in
originally it was
that war,
about
which I suppose
keeping
might actually not be the
Iran
worst
from
case
having a
scenarios
nuke.
for humanity, what
And then
what do you think is the
we all know it's
outcome
about regime
geopolitically
change.
speaking? Is it
That
Netanyahu
was
stepping
all
down?
in
Is it
the
revolution in Israel? What
whole
would that look
plan from
like?
the very beginning.
Well, they've crossed the point of no return. They're not negotiating any ceasefires in the near future, and Israel won't give in because they want to save face. So Israel's
Thank you
gonna
for the comment,
has
by the way.
requested this coalition of the willing, let's call it, similar to Iraq. The UK, France, US, all the Gulf states, etc. They're all in. Turkey too, probably silently. And so they're still gonna try, and they will plead behind the scenes to get the US in because their losses are mounting and they're heavy. And a lot of their bases are now destroyed. Their ports destroyed. Their refineries destroyed. I guess some oil fields have been destroyed. A lot's been destroyed. Oil facilities have been destroyed. I can go on and on. And I guess Iran just did a high level assassination as well. They're not revealing who it was. It's targeted. It's confirmed, but they won't give a name. So at this point, if Israel was to, they're not going to ask for a ceasefire because they have too much pride. That's concession. That's a white flag. Israel claim. If you look at Israel's history, they've always claimed they're undefeated. They don't even acknowledge they lost to Hezbollah in 2006, even though they withdrew. They lost territory. That's a loss. That's an L in anyone's book. But they won't acknowledge that loss. Even now, they've lost. Like I don't see a point of return unless America joins. Then they might have a shot. But even America, what can it really do at this point? If those aircraft carriers can be struck with the hypersonics, again,
Truth,
Iran hasn't even used its
truth.
best.
What I just read about those refuelers, by the way, now it's 26 of them. It's gone up from 21 to 26. That is the average of what you would need to maintain air superiority over a space the size of Iran. So it's not like overkill. It's just what would be average to do that, which I'm sure Israel wants to try. I mean, they are
They could
kind of doing
try,
it
but
already.
they're fearful. They're fearful now of bringing those F-35s close to the air defense systems they haven't taken out because Iran successfully took out 3 F-35s. So unless those are for B-2s or B-52s, I doubt it. I mean, they're desperate to get Iran in to struck at least that. I keep
Do they
Pharaoh.
still have to remember they moved the B-52s to that area like I don't know,
It was the
5-6
Diego
months
Garcia
ago?
base in the Indian. Well, it was a couple months ago, right? They
Yeah.
moved them to Diego Garcia base, but then I
Or,
heard they moved them back last month.
I didn't see that. Is there any way to check?
Yeah, I can look it up.
I remember it was like 2 B-52s they moved there.
It was more than that. It was like 5 or 6, and plus refueling tanks. There's like over $200 billion worth of fighter jets, and each one of those B-2s retails like over $2 billion.
I thought those B-52s can fly for long periods of time without even refueling. Do they need to actually be that close?
They can fly really long distance, but if you're carrying that much weight, it consumes fuel much
If they're
faster.
carrying 30,000-pound bunker busters, you're gonna be expending a lot more fuel.
Everybody listening, please click the like button,
And so
share.
what's even more embarrassing, I mean, I don't want to go
Depending
talk
on
about
what
Lebanon, but
platform
what's
you're
even more
on,
embarrassing in
we're
that
starting to grow here.
2006 Lebanon loss,
We
Israel
are
had to
on
concede to a prisoner swap, which
YouTube,
they didn't want to do. And they thought
Rumble,
Hezbollah held
and X.
40 live
So
captives.
please share the
But what they ended
stream.
up getting in the swap
Any
was 40
questions
dead
you have, let
bodies.
me
And
know.
Hezbollah was able to get back their two captives that they wanted.
I will at some point either get into this space and start asking questions if you would like me to, or other
Why
spaces
does it
as
feel
well.
like on X all of a sudden, all at the same time, multiple people saying that Iran is finished. Like all of a sudden, showing notes from 42 generals approve, blah, 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 like trying to show like social proof that America, like after I made the comment, and I know it's not because of me, after I made the comment that it doesn't seem like there's any American to support in the past hour, it seems like every single, political influencer is saying that Iran's done for, the generals are supporting us, 42 generals said yes, blah, blah, blah. I just,
Yeah, I'm
all at the
noticing
same
that
time.
too.
Yeah.
Okay, I found something on your B. So here, March 2024, two B-52s from the 2nd Bomb Wing at Barksdale Air Force Base, Louisiana, arrived at Diogo Garcia, that's in the Indian Ocean, for BTF mission, marking their return to the island since the first return since 2020. By May 2025, satellite imagery confirmed 4 B-52s alongside 6 B-2s, totaling 10 heavy bombers at the base, a rare concentration. So that was last month. The B-52s, capable of carrying a wide range of conventional and nuclear weapons, were deployed to maintain pressure on the Houthis and deter Iran, particularly in the context of nuclear talks.
And they're still there,
So I
though,
guess
right?
I meant, yeah, I guess they're still there.
Guys, I put up in the nest real quick, just some more images coming out of Tel Aviv. This is from Benny Park in Tel Aviv this morning. Well, morning over there for them. Pretty surreal pictures right there.
Simon, did you finish your point that you were making before?
I finished,
Before
yeah,
I
but
interrupted?
yeah, I'd love to hear anyone tell me how the Israel benefits from this and not America.
Yeah, I do actually disagree, but I'm like so busy tweeting. I don't think I'll give it the
No worries, we'll do it another time.
thingy.
What's the question,
Yeah, because
Simon, if you want? I mean,
because
okay.
I was just
go
saying
ahead.
the narrative that this is for Israel is completely factually incorrect when you follow the monetary flows. America makes a massive profit out of war. It's a genocidal currency, and it's backed by war. And it is massively profitable for America, not for Israel. Israel's just a money laundering jurisdiction for American corporations.
Yeah, I mean, so I can remind people of what I said really, really early, like probably like within a day or two, because I've been following BRICS since 2013, right? And there was a paper written by someone taking a doctorate in China about all crossroads merge in Damascus, right? And this paper basically spelled out how Russia needed Crimea, how then Crimea would need fresh water, how the Syrian ports would be the most important ports in the world. Every nation would be fighting for it because it is the largest shortcut on earth. You need that to maintain the petrodollar. So then I just kept following it from there. I'm like, wait a minute, this actually makes a lot of sense. And then Russia took Crimea. The Economist wrote that Putin isn't going to be done yet. He's going to need the coastline of Ukraine in order to support, because he's going to need fresh water supply to Crimea in order to make it a freshwater port. And that is to connect the LNG to the Belt and Road. Basically, he would be able to ship it down into the Mediterranean and connect it. And the whole thing is, whoever controls the port in Levant pretty much has the military strategic advantage. Truth said it earlier, and he's very correct. What was the truth? The three things you need to do. The one I'm talking about is controlling fuel supplies. Right. That's what actually killed. Most people think America destroyed Germany, but the Germans. That's not true. They ran out of oil.
No, they destroy the supply lines and starve them of munitions, of food. I mean, that's why people are starving in the camps. They end up starving to death.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, they obviously incinerated it.
Kodo, Iran was
Yeah,
not
exactly.
caught
So
off guard.
you
In
know,
fact,
it's
I think it's
whoever
arguable
controls
that
that oil controls
they
that
had
area.
everything put in
Basically
place.
controls the world.
They knew
So now there's
exactly
a
how to
big war
retaliate.
between the BRICS,
And
and
that's
the
what you're seeing
West.
right now.
And
They had everything calculated.
whoever keeps Haifa, because that's the only working
And
port,
to
which might
retaliate
not
against
be
Jordan,
after tonight.
Jordan's
Who knows?
the
Which is why I'm
United
actually
States
happy about
lapdog. So
Haifa
no,
being
I don't
attacked.
think
At least
it's not worth it
making
to
port
them. But they were
unoperational.
prepared for
Um,
Israel for sure.
Because then that's not the fight anymore, right? Then what's the point? But this doesn't benefit Israel. I mean, Israel benefits if America benefits, but America is the ultimate benefactor, not
Exactly.
Israel here.
And
Just some breaking news. You guys can see up in the nest. There's a video of some rescue workers trying to, I guess, look for bodies unearthed under the rubble. The video's in the nest. That is in Tel Aviv, I believe.
For what it's worth, I don't understand how. I suppose if you define America as BlackRock and the elites of the elite, then perhaps I can understand your argument. But if you're going to suggest that this is going to benefit Americans, I think
no,
that's going to
that's
create
the key.
weakness.
But that's the
But
key thing,
Ian,
because you've got the wrong enemy here.
but it
America
does.
first. America first. Israel serves an America first agenda, which is GDP, rollover debt, transfer wealth to the large corporations. That is the structure of America. And
But the large
But
corporations
Simon,
are anti-American middle class.
yes.
That's the
Now,
problem.
if you want to then understand, reach Americans first, is the opposite of what your structure is designed to do.
but Simon, not 100%, right? Just hear me out, right? Americans have one of the highest, in terms of a country with over 50 million people, they have the highest salary in the world, right? There's a lot of small pockets like Singapore, Switzerland, things like that, but they're not large countries. In terms of large country, they have the highest salary in the world. They have the highest priced in assets. They have an extreme amount of wealth. They have almost unlimited purchasing power. And they have that because of BlackRock, because of the printing of the money, because it is a petrodollar, because of all this, right? So Americans indirectly are benefiting from this as well, right? Except what most Americans don't realize is, you're lucky if you have a 2-week vacation in America. Europeans find that absolutely insane that Americans can't take a 2-week paid vacation.
Americans also
So
don't get
what
they
America
also
is
don't get social services, unlimited free health care.
Yeah,
The
there's a ton of
educational
stuff.
systems are absolute crap. I mean, I think we talked about this the other day, when 40% of Americans can't afford a $400 medical emergency, and 90% of Americans are loosely defined as lower class when you look at what it costs to have a middle class lifestyle in any major metro area. You can suggest that Americans have the most money in terms of a number on a screen, but when it comes to quality of life, I just think that that's incorrect. But the one thing
I
I would
agree with
say
you. Quality of
is
life, I agree with you.
it's reasonably high compared to the third world. But you could also say that you're the what is it? It's like you're the tallest midget on the basketball team of midgets, right?
But
Like
Ian,
the
you know
the,
what?
the
You know what
American
they're
quality
But
of
saying.
I'm
life has
yeah.
drastically
So
decreased over the
I
last
completely agree
40
there,
years.
but you're blaming the wrong thing. If you think you're giving all your wealth to Israel and that's your problem, Israel is serving.
I'd say it's global Jewry, Simon, and I know we disagree on that one,
Yeah,
but I would say those two things are aligned.
Just some breaking news, guys, real quick, and just to your point, Ian, this is another thing that the Americans are paying for. So there's a photo up in the nest. There it's bunkers meant to protect the settlers and collapsed on them, possibly killing some. So another American paid installment, I guess, in Israel, and it kind of backfired on them.
but yeah, what I'm trying to get at is you have a system that is designed for wealth extraction from the average person over to the wealthy that benefits from war and genocide. That's the reality. That
Yes,
structure
but
is.
you know what? But Simon, you completely leave ideology out of it. And I understand, like, you following the money and everything.
No,
So,
no,
like, I
I'm
get that. I
talking about
respect your
structure.
position. But hold on.
I'm talking about
Y-
structure. Like the
Yeah,
dollar,
right.
the dollar
I
does
know,
that.
I know. Trust me, I know. I know that Israel is beneficial for America because of the dollar, the way the dollar moves, and and all of that, and like
But
for.
that's the purpose of Israel.
But the
Israel was
thing
created
is,
by the Brits and Americans in order to steal
Yeah, but when
money
you say
from their people.
Americans, but
This
which
is another
Americans?
one.
You know what I mean? So then
Unfortunately,
this is
that
where the
girl that's
discussion
in
could go
this thing
somewhere
that
where,
thinks she
you know,
thinks
people are
she's
going to feel
smart,
some
but
type of way or
unfortunately she's
whatever. But
not
let's
all
keep
that
it
bright.
real. Like,
So here we go.
John Mearsheimer didn't write the book of the Israel lobby for no reason, you know? And when you look in the book, he's not just talking about AIPAC, he's talking about everything that goes into it, you know, as far as the media, you know, the media manipulation, the everything,
She
like
thinks
the
she's
whole
smarter than
ideology.
Simon.
Okay, fine. You and if Israel's good for, you know, American genocidal money, that's one thing, but we are literally writing laws against our Constitution for Israel. There has to be, it is not about blame either, because I know it comes across like, oh, well, you guys are just blaming Israel, so then it makes it look like you're not doing anything. Oh, no. Like Dr. Michael said earlier, it feels like a big blob. I don't know where my country ends and where Israel begins anymore. I don't know. And I just don't think it's only because of this monetary system and how it's set up. Yes, that's a huge part of it, but Zionism is a real thing. It is. It is Zionism that, you know, sent helicopters to Randy Weaver's house back in 1980 something to go, you
But
know,
what
slay
I'm
his
saying
Casey, I
is,
family.
you
think you're
you
Because
could you could dismantle Zionism tomorrow if there was a way. Imagine you could wave a magic wand, eliminate Israel. It just became one state called Palestine, and every single Congress member was no longer a Zionist. You'd still have the same problem
because
because
they'd still be owned by the same ethnic interest. That's look. I know we can take this in a whole different direction, but I
Ian,
think
let's
that's
just
the
call
problem.
them the Illuminati because they're not just Jewish, right? Like
or let's
the
just not
people.
have the conversation
No,
because
no,
I can't.
I
Yeah.
can't. Casey,
but
because I
but all I'm
understand.
trying to do, all I'm trying
I
to do,
understand
all
why
I'm trying to
Casey
say,
started to talk. Simon,
you
let me just because
everyone's
I
grown
understand why Casey said it.
everyone's grown addicted to a problem that doesn't solve the problem. You're focusing on a symptom.
It's part of
The
it, though,
problem is the
Simon.
structure of the dollar.
Nobody's addicted. It is part of it, Simon, right? So it's part of it. You're
It's
right.
a
We do talk
mechanism
about
for
the military.
creating debt to
Right, but there's
transfer
something
wealth.
about this mechanism that was so important that it needed to infiltrate churches and everything, Simon. This isn't just about like, I mean, come on. Like, there's something else about this that does need to be dismantled. Like, it's to the point where
Sure,
people actually
what I'm saying,
worship
dismantle
it
it,
to
and all
make
the
it.
problems you have will still be the same.
This
Or
isn't
they'll
the
still be
only thing.
identical.
It's still not the only thing. But listen, let me tell you something, okay? Yeah, you don't even want to hear what I want.
Type shit.
Is quite radical. Not anybody to get hurt, but I want the country to run for the country. And there are certain people who go Israel first or whatever else first, right? Who are in charge of everything, down to the nursing homes too, by the way, in charge of everything. And you know what? I don't think they should have that kind of power because it's starting to look like everything is matching up to this thing. What you're saying is, oh, well, it's actually the military industrial complex and everything else that's the problem, which you're right. But
It's the
who's in
structure
charge
of the
of that
dollar.
stuff too? You know what I'm
You'll
saying? So
find a new ideology once Zionism goes in order to steal money from the American
no,
people.
no. But the thing is, like, but no. If we
You'll
really
find
could
another reason to
extract
go to war.
Zionism,
I think
if it really
Zionism is top evil, to be honest with you. I don't think there's anything like.
that's what I'm saying. And if you
Yeah.
could wake people up from that, they probably would start paying attention to their country, and then everything else goes right behind it too.
Hey,
It doesn't.
Casey,
It really
here's
doesn't.
Guys,
here's
real
the
quick,
issue.
just up. What? Sorry, Joe. Just real quick, guys. This is a really good debate. Just up in the nest. There's a video of firefighters out in Tel Aviv still, and you guys can see like the rubble and the devastation that the Iranian missiles left behind. I gotta jump off. Casey, can you just look at your DMs, please, real quick, and I'll see you guys back early in the morning.
So Simon, you know, your one of your points is that Israel was created to be the boogeyman for American interests. You said that, right?
Well, Israel originally was created for the British, but then we transferred power over to America.
That's fine. Yeah, yeah. But you made the argument that Israel was created. Israel was created. Or Israel is being used. Like I look at it, it's not semantics. You said Israel is being used to be the boogeyman for American interests. You said that, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. So the problem with your argument is that was Israel. Okay, let me ask you: was Israel used as the boogeyman for 9/11?
Yes.
It wasn't though,
It was
because
the CIA and Mossad. America knew exactly what was going on there.
no. I'm not asking about how it happened. Because
Okay.
to be the boogeyman, the whole right. So what is a boogeyman? The whole point of a boogeyman is that everybody looks at
person X as the bad guy or the boogeyman, but in reality, someone else is the more nefarious character behind it. Is that like a
All right,
good
yeah,
way
no,
of
yeah, the Muslims were used as the boogeyman for 9/11.
exactly, exactly? So Israel wasn't used as the boogeyman. You agree with that, right?
No, yeah,
No one
you're
even
right there.
mentioned Israel. This was Ryan Dawson maybe mentioned it, speak in his camera, speaking to a few hundred people, but no one even thought of Israel until until people start exposing it. What about the war in Iraq? Did anyone mention Israel or anthrax?
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, there was that whole intelligence from Benjamin Netanyahu leading up to it, I guess.
But again, no, that was him directed, but he was such a good but that doesn't lend to your argument because your argument is who's the boogeyman and who's the kind of the manipulator behind it. But he made that argument, but no one thought or considered that this war was for Israel.
Yeah,
This was
so
again.
so
This
let me
again was something a lot more newer. So you agree that they weren't the boogeyman then either?
so okay, let's not use the word boogeyman. They are the paid assassin for American corporate interest.
Okay, so even that for the two incidents I mentioned, were they the paid assassins?
For Iraq.
Iraq, and Libya, and 9/11.
So I
Were
think
they the
I think you could blame Iraq on the operation of Twin Towers. Sorry, yeah, you could blame it on that operation, and then the intelligence that came from Netanyahu and the clean break memo. I
but
think
they weren't
CIA was involved in all of those.
okay, exactly.
That
So
was
they
the
were
State Department,
how
and those were
so
Jewish
how
Yeah,
nationals.
so how were
the
they
clean
how were they the
break
paid
memo.
assassin? That makes no sense.
Simon.
Okay,
Because you're
well, I mean, yeah, there's lots of different operations that Israel commits for
see
American corporations.
Simon has
I'm
admitted
asking
to
it that
me
question
in
beforehand is
other
because I didn't want to give a speech. I want to like you to show. I want to show you
discussions
like the
that
kind of where the
he
breakdown is in the
is
positioning.
he has
So
plenty of people
you
in his
agree they're
family that
not the
are Jewish.
boogeyman for these
So
incidences. You
everything
agree
he's
they weren't the
saying,
paid assassins for these
not so
incidences.
sure that he's telling the
Actually,
truth.
largely the boogeyman or the paid assassins or people who everyone considered up until people's red pilling, depending on when that happened, they considered America the boogeyman. They considered America the paid assassin. They considered America the evil, and hence why, and they considered America the major issue. Would you agree with that up until maybe the red pilling that's happened significantly for the vast majority of people over the last couple of years? And for some maybe slightly longer, but it's not much more longer.
Yeah, I think most films and stuff like that were diverting over to the CIA. Yeah.
Not just films, like when you look at any community when they spoke about, even if you look
This
at
guy Simon is super
the
shady.
victors or the victims, they all blamed America. So even when
And
we were
people,
being
you're right.
oppressed or the
You're
Muslims
lucky
were
if
being
you have a
oppressed,
job in America
we
right
genuinely
now. And
thought,
BlackRock
or the vast
does own
majority of Muslims
California.
actually
You
thought this
are
was for American
100%
interest, that
correct.
they wanted to demonize Muslims. The vast majority of people did not realize that this was actually a Zionist issue or
They
a Jewish
actually
issue, depending
own
on whose position it is.
way more than
So,
California.
Yeah. So Iraq is an overt war, but Israel did many of America's covert wars.
like what?
Well, all of the creation of ISIS, the creation of Al Qaeda. These were intelligence operations,
But
which were
again, all those operations weren't done solely for Israel. So even when you say covert, now
they
what?
weren't done. No, they're CIA. You can't separate Israel and
No, but
America.
this is the point. This is the point, though. So why I'm giving? Okay, that's fine. But the point what hopefully you're getting to here is that Israel has never been used individually to either take the blame, to carry out the issues, to do anything. Actually, even if you look at any of these wars, Israel was a bystander. They sent Americans to die, but they were always the. I know, which let's not use the word send because I want to be like I want to go through this process. The Americans went to die, Brits went to die, Israelis didn't. So Israelis never conducted an overt war for anyone. In terms of covert operations, again, they never did those on their own. So Israel was never used, and Israel could easily have been replaced with any other intelligence or any other country because in reality they weren't monumental in any of these things. So in your argument, when you look at what
So you're
the
saying
issue with
Israel wasn't important in any of the things that everyone says Israel did and America didn't.
in the sense of
Israel wasn't monumental in the sense of getting them done. Now, the reason for why it was done, because I'm not talking about the reason, that's a separate point, because your argument, you don't even believe that the reason is Israel. I'm going to come to that in a second. That's the crux of my argument. But when I'm breaking down all the foundational points of your argument to demonstrate that actually your thing doesn't stand up, but now I'll demonstrate to you why them things not existing, my argument still stands holds. So I'll come to that in a second. So when you look at all of those things, you see that actually America could have conducted all of those things without Israel, and it could have, if it was really America behind it, and they could have used a different partner for those things. Israel could be interchangeable in your argument, and therefore it demonstrates that Israel's need to exist was never there. So that's what I wanted to go through with you. But in reality, the whole reason all of these things were done and why Israel is needed, there is a need for Israel to exist, and why Israel exists and why all these actions are done is actually for Israel, and it's for that area for Israel to create greater autonomy in that region, as well as ideologically for the impact that it does. And all of that was done through a mass operation that the Israelis conducted in over time. If you look at the histories from the bombing of King David Hospital, the expansionist ideas even then, how they basically conducted certain operations, and ideologically how they've impacted society in the West, how they've taken control of certain governments, how they're able to take out politicians if they disagree with them. Americans know JFK. In the UK, Jeremy Corbyn was taken out recently, but not physically. And so in reality, what I think I was trying to show you is that all of the things that you think that America is doing for Israel, actually, the roles are the other way around, likely speaking. And so then all of those things I'm breaking down for you, where I'm saying is in your argument, Israel is merely not there. I mean, is not influential or impactful. I'm saying in my argument, it is.
Can I get in here real quick? Suleiman,
No,
it's to your point.
let me just go with Simon first, because you know what it is like. We have this discussion all the time, and I thought like, okay, this time I'll just address it, and then afterwards, we can do our own debate or own discussion. So that's the point, and so coming back to it, and so when you say like, and that's not even taking ideology into consideration, because I actually think, because I wanted to break down your point first. But when you take ideology into consideration, you understand that actually things are even more complex, and actually ideology more that drives people more than anything else. Like I've studied Islam a lot, and I was like into religious theology and philosophy and all these kind of things. And being in that, it gave me a window into how ideology drives people significantly, and that ideology is historic and current, and ideology can be religion and like belief or nationalism or whatever it may be based on your country or whatever, but ideology drives people significantly. And when you control ideology, you control the people. And so when you understand that, you understand that Zionism, and obviously I don't, when I say Zionism, I don't mean the state of Israel. I mean this ideology, this Jewish supremacist ideology that is there to impact society in an extremely negative way. Now, you can have uh, supremacy in every ideology, and you can have extremism in every single ideology, but I'm talking about the supremacy that's created from Judaism, but is Zionism is based on Jewish supremacy. But it's not all Jews. This is a bit where I slightly disagree with a few people on the panel. But that being said, it is based on that, and so that ideology has impacted ideology significantly. So, for example, as someone who detailed and didn't, I'm not like a blind follower in Islam. If you look at it, most people I disagree with my opinions, right? But if you look at the history of Islam, what became modern day Islam was based on a number of factors, including wars that happened between two different ideological groups. And I don't even mean Sunni and Shias. I'm going to put Shias aside. Even within Sunniism, wars occurred, battles occurred, and it was only the victors of those battles that became mainstream Islam. And even before that, if you look at rules and regulations within Islam and certain sects within Islam, you understand that actually the influences they had. And I always mention this, that there was a guy, a Jewish rabbi, he never was a Muslim during the time of the Prophet, peace be upon him, even though he lived during his time. And I think the Prophet was the best of mankind, perfection. But he never converted when he saw him. And then only when the Prophet, peace be upon him, passed away, did he convert to Islam. And so there's some nefarious points that this guy converts to Islam. And then he becomes one of the biggest narrators of what became some aspects of the legal tradition and some of the extreme positions that you find within Islam. And so when you understand that these people were able to direct that, and then within Christianity, you've got the Schofield Bible, and you've got certain evangelical ideas and certain things even within Protestantism, you understand that this is a ideological direction that's occurred over thousands of years. And so ideology for me is extremely important. If I go to, for example, a Salafi, and I'm like, guess what? I don't agree with your position on X. They will lose their mind because ideology is more important. They'll back, as an example, they'll back Israel over Iran based on ideology. And so ideology dictates so much. And so, but anyway, that's a separate point. So those were the few points I wanted to make. I'll get back on the news, but got me excited in a bit of a discussion there.
All right, I just give a quick point. I completely agree that ideology drives human behavior, and that's what a lot of people at the top will utilize those ideologies in order to drive the human behavior for the motive that they're trying to achieve. And in most cases, particularly when you're dealing with Western corporations, there is a profit motive, and power equals money. And so they will utilize any type of ideology in order to drive people into the behavior that drives the profits for those corporations. So Zionism is a useful ideology, Islam is a useful ideology, Christianity is a useful ideology, and you can recruit an army and get them to do inhumane things by making them believe that they're doing, by weaponizing their ideology. And people at the top have always done that. That's why you have all these institutions that take an ideology that need funding, and then that can become a weaponized ideology.
Can I
Yeah.
jump in, Simon, just to give?
Yeah, go for it.
Because look, I think I'm going to have a teach them how to fish moment. So get ready. I'm just using what analogy came to my head, and I think Simon will agree, but it just goes a little bit deeper. What you're talking about is how they use them as a shield, right? So this is a really stupid example, but it's the only one that comes to mind. If I'm a restaurant owner and I hire only handicapped servers, no one is going to give me a bad rating for service, or else they're going to look like a monster, right? And that's kind of what the Israelis are for high end businessmen. Because as soon as you attack them, how dare you, you anti-Semite, right? There's going to be a point where this handicapped servers learn that they can use that to their advantage as well, right? And so they take advantage of it and start doing their own thing also, while I'm still using them as a shield that you can't complain about my restaurant because it's all handicapped people, right? Because then you're going to look bad, right? So to Simon's point, that's kind of like what I think is that's kind of what Simon's trying to explain. They're kind of used more like a shield than anything else, but they do things on their own 100%. The problem that what me and Simon do agree on is once you get rid of that, which you do need to get rid of, you still have a big issue in America. And it comes down to the capitalistic system is the amount of money that is getting printed now at the velocity that it's getting printed. And you go look at the M2 money supply and you see the upward hockey stick that's being printed, you can get a better job. You can still believe in the American dream. Most people within the next 2-3 years, they will see their quality of life diminish unless they have millions in assets already. Because once you start printing, people with assets, their value goes up, and people without them, their value goes down. And there's going to be no middle class. And what will wind up happening is the same thing you see in Brazil, Ethiopia, Mexico. You basically live in your own little citadel, and everyone else lives outside like slaves. And that's what eventually will happen in the United States if you don't understand how to invest. Why do the Jews get such a bad name? It's not because of a religion. It's because they are the only group of people, Suleiman, you, me growing up as a Christian, Myron, I don't know how you grew up or Simon, but probably all of us always heard, you need to work really hard for your money, son. You need to get a good job and just work really hard and move your way up. That's not how you become rich. We were taught wrong. Most Jewish kids are taught to save money, and that's why a lot of Americans make jokes that Jews are penny pinchers, blah blah blah. They're always cheap. They're not cheap. They're saving because that's what they're taught as a little kid. Save your money and invest. Put your money to work for you. They're taught that from a very, very young age. So they've benefited greatly from this capitalistic system, not because they created it, but because they understand it, because they're kind of the ones who started it, right? And that is the problem, is although once you get rid of Zionism and that whole let's call it extreme nationalism, because that's basically what it is, right? Once you get rid of extreme nationalism, you still have the money problem in the US. And the money problem is not because things are the same as they used to be and they could be corrected. No, it is the amount of money that needs to be printed, because we have no way out of just continuing to print more money than we did the last 4-year cycle. And we're getting to the point where no matter how hard you work, you will never be the middle class and you'll never make it to the wealthy. You will only see your quality of life drop. And today you can see people in the middle that are upper middle, that are living paycheck to paycheck. Upper middle class, dude, my dad worked construction. My mother was a secretary. They had 2 houses, 2 cars, and a boat. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen today. No way, no how. And that's because of the amount of money that's put in it. And they were taught to work hard instead of save everything you can and invest it. And that's what the main big problem is. And Jews will benefit because they're taught to from a very young age to do what exactly to do. A lot of them, not all of them. Simon, is that pretty much like a
Wait, hold on. I just
concise
posted.
answer?
I think that
Oh,
was
wait.
a very good summary, and I'm gonna jump off now, but I'll leave some final parting words, and we'll bring this one up again. But it was a very good summary. The only way you beat the system is to own assets that beat the system and save, and everyone else is working for those people and not saving. They're taking on debt, and that's the rich poor divide, and that's the systemic nature of it. And I'll just say Israel was a very, very ideology, because it allowed military companies and banks and technology companies to profit from that ideology by creating a lot of war, which printed a lot of money and kept that Ponzi scheme going for as long as possible. It was a useful ideology, and the net beneficiary was certainly American companies, not Israel. Got a little cut in the middle.
And
Let me
for
just, but Simon, please only, let me just read the thing that's in the nest though. But please, Simon, only just give me just 2 minutes. But let me just read what's in the nest. I had threw it up there, but you already beat me to it, Suleiman. So we got breaking 103 injured, 8 killed, and 10 in critical condition in Greater Tel Aviv. The actual numbers are much higher. The source is Israeli media. And that's up in the nest, guys. Please don't forget to like and retweet it or comment underneath it. And please don't forget to retweet the space as well. And Simon, but and I'm not going to do the back and forth, right? But now sometimes I understand why. No, I already understand why. Like it's like who created the Ponzi scheme, but we'll leave it at that. I want to be clear. I'm a little bit radical. Who do we owe the money to? Print it. People print it. So then you know what? People need to learn how to capitalize in this system. And I think that people can learn how to do it. I mean, there's so many people who I know who do it now. They're doing it now. So that's why when I come back to the ideology of Zionism that's been around for a long time, that's the ideology that it's not just about the money that genocides people, and then other people worship the people who genocide them. It's not about, oh, Jews have money. What? I don't care. I've been to Jewish weddings and bar mitzvahs. I'm glad they have money. I don't care. But this And maybe it's because I'm a Christian. I'm not going to get theological, but for me, it's completely anti-Christ, and it has subverted this so-called Christian nation. So they can't pay attention to what's going on with the money schemes or anything else going on. They've been so subverted, and that is not an excuse. It's just simply an explanation. That's all I'll say. I'll leave it there.
Yeah, yeah, Casey, the big problem is who younger people idolize today, right? Like you go to Dubai and you
I
see
don't want
almost
to take it
everyone,
right.
you
I
see
just
you
don't.
see almost you see almost everyone in $600, $800 Hermes slippers, but they're paying $2,000 for rent, right? And then they're like, oh my God, that person has life. Like the attention on who you should follow is completely whack. It's completely off,
Well, and
right?
for
And
Yeah,
that's the issue.
Joe
yeah,
Forward is,
and
I
so
mean,
like I was brought up in a Jewish school, and in a Jewish school I was taught don't work, create a business, uh, and save. And that is something that, like Joe has said, that is what they teach you culturally. When I went to university and deviated from the Jewish community, I ended up being trained at university to get a job, and then I ended up taking out a mortgage and deep in debt. So I did the opposite, and then went back to creating a business and investing and saving, beat the system, and then found the ideology, like the religious ideology that I thought was sustainable for humankind, which was Islam. But I'm just saying, I've been through those ideology, and it is culturally taught in to Jewish people, as Joe has said.
but for what it's worth, and Simon, I'd be curious on your perspective on this. But two things to add. Number one, when it comes to the system, I think at the end of the day, what you're basically describing is the capital class versus the working class. And the problem is that the capital class is disproportionately and overwhelmingly dominated by a certain group of people that have access to lots of the capital. And once you have, it's like Matthew's law, right? To those that have much more will be given, because they have the money to build the businesses, the money to invest their time there. Whereas most people, they come out of college, they've already got $250,000 in student debt or whatever. And the other thing that I'd add on, I'd be very curious, Simon, for your perspective. I think the reason that this whole Ponzi scheme and the dismantling of the scheme, which has funneled all the money to the 1% of the 1%, is because the way that they did it was basically by reverse engineering and benefiting to the greed of the capital class, which essentially diminished generation after generation after generation. And in other words, what they basically said was to the people at the top making the decisions. So these are the leadership across all of these, let's just call them mid to large businesses. They basically said to them, hey, you can win and you will get more and more and more at the tippy top, which of course gets ever shrinking as you outsource more and more of the jobs and import more and more poor people so that you can pay less and less and less. So the people at the capital class can get more and more and more. And so what you've seen is the destruction of the middle class, not only by the people in the middle getting shrunk down, but by the percentage of people that are in the middle upper class or the lower upper class, those basically evaporating away generation after generation after generation, as more and more of the people that traditionally would have had, let's call it a middle management layer set of responsibilities, have basically been wiped out. And that's only going to be exacerbated with things like AI, which of course reduce further and further need for manpower. And so
Ian, watch hyper normalization if you've never watched it.
I
That
just, I
basically explains it
just,
all.
it's so funny. I just recommended that to everybody yesterday, which is the psychological warfare on a group of people by saying, hey, everything is normal. And to your point, Joa, that they basically, the people at the very top have benefited from telling everyone that everything is fine as they've been destroying it because they basically depend on everybody buying into the scheme as they're funneling all of the wealth out of the very system that they're consistently propping up by playing the ruse that everything is fine, right? It's basically like you own a boat and you're taking people out on cruises and the boat is sinking, but you can't tell the passengers that, or otherwise they won't be interested in playing, right?
So, Ian, I'll give you one Jewish conspiracy because I'm going to jump off now. And
You're gonna
you and
add to the
Truth
list. I love it.
Oh, this one I believe is absolutely true. In both Islam and Christianity, usury was strictly forbidden. And as a Muslim, we believe that the original version of the Torah was not preserved, and we believe it was doctored and it changed the language around the prohibition of usury. I know that not everyone, that's a Muslim belief. But the usury was 100% no doubt the Jewish advantage, because it was prohibited in both Christianity and Islam. And the codification of usury to enslave mankind was essentially the central banking system, which was a European creation, and it was dominated by Jewish people. But that one thing has now codified out to the entire system. And now that it is in the protocol, genocide and war is built into the protocol in order to perpetuate debt forever, to transfer wealth until the system collapses. And I believe our religious scriptures gave us the message and taught us what we need to know. And I believe we're witnessing, like, that's what we're all experiencing together. And it always ends with war in order to reset the world order. And I think we're resetting the world order together. But yeah, that's a Jewish conspiracy that I believe is based upon fact.
Thank you, Simon, for sharing a little nugget with us. And it's all love. Seriously, we've been on this journey together, so I could never thank you, just for being you and being able to have a discussion too. Thank you. All right, guys. So what are we getting into now? What is the next? Come on, we cannot where is everybody?
Yeah. Meanwhile, have we thrown any drones anywhere? Have we dropped any ballistic missiles? Have we
I keep
hit
refreshing.
any settlements yet?
I know I keep refreshing Suli's page. I didn't see anything new yet come up. I don't know.
Isn't it
Yeah,
crazy
nothing
that
much new.
we found ourselves in a system where we're on a space looking for the next ballistic missile to drop, because we've just been witnessing a genocide for the last 2 years? Isn't it crazy how it sucks you into the system? We're all sat here waiting for...
Ballistic missiles are a hell of a drug, Simon.
Wait, Suleiman, you
Feel the
about to say
rush.
something?
No, nothing.
We're smoking on that ballistic missile pack.
Yo, don't.
It's too funny. It's like it's too sick to be true, but it's true.
Yeah,
We
you
are
get a
here.
dopamine hit. It's bad.
I know, because I do feel like it was a serious stimulation earlier. We were like, yo, did you see that one? Did you see that one? Did you? And then you're coming down off of it. This is crazy.
Simon's got withdrawal symptoms. His hands are shaking right now. Needs a hit. He needs a hit.
He's scratching his neck like, anybody got more than no,
Watch out for the rushes.
No, I do have to say, when those hit the settlements, that's the one I'm waiting for. Like, I'm serious. That those settlements, that is justice to be served.
I hope they hit that Jacob guys. Well, no, I can't wish that. But, if there was maybe if it went off course and an accident happened, I wouldn't be disappointed. That thief, the one who came up with, well, if I don't steal it, someone else will. That guy's a special type of asshole.
Well, if I don't fire a ballistic missile, someone else will.
Myron, are you there? No, I might not be there.
Maybe.
Go ahead, Casey.
No, I was just saying maybe he's streaming on the other end or whatever. But yeah, I'm listening to you.
Yeah, I mean, look, this was a massive devastation. I was shook at how big it was. It was huge. I remember hiding a lot of the devastation that occurred. So in reality, things are going to be significantly worse.
Which still scares me a little bit, because these people are crazy. I know we already sent how many tankers? Go ahead, Nathan. You got something to say?
Yeah, that's my biggest concern.
Yeah, and then Lord.
I was gonna say, sorry, I was just gonna add some context to what you guys said. There's also 2 blackouts, military blackouts on 2 of the sites that were hit as well.
So it's just crazy. I'm just concerned because when people in Laura Loomer and the rest of them are saying about the something big's coming, it does concern you. because the US has moved, was it 24 Air Force tankers eastward in an unprecedented surge far beyond any NATO exercise like Trident Juncture. So basically, previously, the Trident Juncture moved only 6 to 8 tankers. Sometimes it would be 10 to 15, but this isn't. But the fact that there's 24, and I think Joe mentioned it, that's how many you would need to cover the whole of Iran, is highly concerning. 21 of the aerial refueling tankers, 12 KG 135s and 4 KC 46s, are airborne over the US, moving eastward alongside multiple Gulfstream command and control and VIP transport aircraft. It's highly concerning. I mean, is Israel, like, is the US about to go to war for Israel? Is Trump about to betray his base and betray the anti-war movement? Is him being on the Epstein file the reason for this?
Okay, so can I ask, and it's probably a dumb question, but I'm not going to act like I know about bombs and tankers and everything. So this isn't my areas of expertise, and maybe some of the audience might be confused. Those jets, what can they do? I mean, can't they just like only refuel, or like they can bomb from? Can somebody just describe it a little bit for me? Because I don't know. Anyone?
Yeah, them things are basically to refuel and also to bomb more people.
Okay, so that's basically okay. Because I was just like hoping it was only refuel, but yeah, that's how they're gaslighting us then.
No. What he's saying is that they refuel the planes that do the bombing. They don't carry no bombs.
Okay, I'm bringing Hassan up as well because I think he's a bit disappointed about what he saw over the last few hours. So, Truth, take it easy on him.
When is he not disappointed?
Take it easy on who? What?
Hassan, because I heard he's disappointed with what he saw in the last few hours.
Just not
Hassan,
enough. You know, it's only 40 missiles or whatever Israel said, because Israel media never lies.
Hassan, what's your thoughts about what you saw?
I'm not sure if it was a dream or if it was actually real. I don't know. I was watching. There's some videos. I've seen so many of them. They're pretty good.
Are you disappointed?
Not at all.
He's trying to be different.
Wow, the damage and destruction was so bad. In the sense of it, they destroyed so much. Even Hassan,
Suleiman, he's
even
become
Hassan
an
got boosted.
anti-Semite now. Look at that, huh? He went from
Yeah,
Jew
bro.
lover to anti-Semite, just like that.
He's just shook, bro. He's like converted. It's his epiphany, his red pill moment. Anyway, Hassan, jump in. What's your thoughts? What did you want to speak about?
I just joined now and listening into what all you guys are saying, really. And
oh, you requested. That's why I brought you up.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It was kind of I wasn't expecting to be speaking so soon, so I was just going to listen back for a few minutes first.
Oh, did you just request now?
Yeah, only just came up now.
Oh, you looked out then, because I just now decided to start looking in the panel. Okay, Abu Sitta, thanks for joining. What's your thoughts? Abu Sitta? Guys, if you're requesting, if you do me a favor, only request a question.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Can you hear me?
Yeah. How's it going?
Not bad. I've been following the space for a couple of days. You guys got some good insights. One thing I didn't hear you guys mention is that did you hear how Russia found some connection between the Israeli drone operation in Tehran? They found some like commonalities between that operation and the one against their strategic bombers, and because of that, it changed Russia's role in this war, where now they're helping Iran with satellite and coordinates and a bunch of different things. They've upped their level of strategic help to Iran because of that, because they feel that Israel had a hand in the operation against their strategic bombers.
Just out of
Just putting that up.
curiosity, do you have a source for some of this? I can't see who it is, by the way, because I'm a bit glitched. But if you have a source, if you could share it, that would be good.
Yeah, that's from Alexander Mercury from the Duran. I don't know if you guys follow him. That was in his latest analysis on the situation. I'll post it in the nest.
Post it in the comments. I'm sorry, because yeah.
Yeah, please don't post it in the bubble up top. Just post it in the nest, please. Or you can send it to me in a DM, sorry, if you want.
So we have a special tweet on the top in the nest says, if Trump goes to war with Iran for Israel, he's definitely on the Epstein list. Well, get ready to say he's on the Epstein list because I know that's going to happen. So,
But Elon already did.
My biggest concern now, though, that is America is going to get dragged in the way things are going.
Just so you do, and Myron, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. What's up? I just got back.
Yeah, just a quick question. What's your thoughts about what you saw today? This was a massive destruction, massive devastation. A, what's your thoughts on that? And B, what's your thoughts on these refueling tankers moving to the Middle East? It seems like America's joining the war.
Yeah, man, it's I kind of foresaw this, right? We all know that Israel can't really defend itself as much as they claim that they can. We'll see what happens. We'll really see what happens here. But Israel, I think they're starting to understand that they bit off a bit more than they can chew. They underestimated the Iranians' capability of hitting them hard back at home, and that's what's going on right now. These hypersonic missiles are fucking them up, and they don't really have an answer for it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here, man. I think a war, us getting involved in a war, would be highly unpopular. But at this point, man, Trump is owned by the Jews, so we'll see what happens.
I mean, if Trump goes to war, does that destroy MAGA? Because what made MAGA, I would say, unique as a movement was its kind of America first, more nationalistic, anti-war, anti-establishment perspective. I think that's what made it unique, especially when you found all of those within the right wing. That's basically the end of MAGA, right?
Well, it's definitely caused a split in it, right? You got the people that are what I call like, the Zio retards, right? That will sit there and say Israel's our greatest ally, which is a good portion of them. And then you do have some people on the right that are critical of Israel and understand that Israel's a parasite that leeches on the United States. I would argue more people are pro-Israel and retarded, but people are slowly waking up on the right with this stuff. But yeah, they use stupid terms like the woke right or far right. They use these pejorative terms to try to insult conservatives that are critical of Israel, because it's typically not it's not a popular stance to be critical of Israel while being a conservative. Most conservatives absolutely shill for Israel, especially big conservative commentators in America. I think besides like maybe me and Nick Fuentes, I think everybody else, or at least that have popular video type long form content podcasts, almost all of them shill for Israel. So, we'll see what happens though. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's concerning. It's concerning. I mean, let's say America joins into this war. How do you think it goes?
Well, if we did join, one of the number one things they would need us for is to basically bomb this nuclear facility that's in a mountain. But that could create problems for us as well, because you'd have to obviously plan the mission, fuel the mission, find the right people to do it without getting caught on radar. I know we have some stealth B-2 bombers. But it would be a very risky operation. And then that would almost guarantee an Iranian retaliation where they would hit our military bases. And a lot of our armed forces are sitting ducks in the Gulf. They don't even have an Iron Dome to protect them over there. So they would get hit directly with these drones and missiles. So, do we really want to risk thousands of military servicemen in the Gulf for Israel? And I think that's where we have to have a really tough discussion. Where is it really worth it, right? We're in the middle of protests all across the United States with what's going on with ICE. We have lots of problems here at home. Is it really worth it to start another war in the Middle East and kind of go down the same path that the Bush administration did for Israel? And I would argue that, trying to start a war now, because that would absolutely start a war, bombing their nuclear facility in this mountain, is it really worth it? Is the juice worth the squeeze? And I would argue no. And most Americans would probably agree with me. Even the fucking conservatives that likes Israel, they would even know that a war with Iran would be extremely unpopular.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about like where this goes, America joins the war with Israel. You basically have America helping Israel bomb them. This becomes like American targets in the Middle East become fair game. A lot of American lives being lost, lots of Iranian lives being lost, less so Israelis because they're going to be under protection. So essentially, it's Americans putting their lives in their hands on the line for the Israelis, right?
Yeah.
The Iraqi
yeah.
Iraqi bases would get wiped out as well, huh?
Yeah, sorry, Marin, go ahead. I don't know what you said.
No, I think he was saying something. No, I mean, yeah, you know, going to war. You know, another thing too that we kind of benefit from is social media nowadays. You know, back in 2003 when we had the Iraq War, we had to rely on Fox, CNN, MSNBC. We had to rely on the mainstream media platforms, and you know they basically indoctrinated us and told us the lies, and there was no counter narrative, right? When Netanyahu famously was in the Capitol talking about how Saddam was making nuclear weapons, all this other shit. There was no alternative media to really challenge that. Yeah, Alex Jones was around, but it didn't have the same level of reach like now. But thanks to social media and alternative media, people are able to get the truth or get different perspectives. And I think that has been really helpful with people understanding what's going on in the Middle East and how we've been kind of duped by Israel for a very long time to fight their wars for them. So the U.S. government would not have the same immunity to the narrative that they had 20 years ago, right? Now with social media, the rise of social media and alternative platforms, it's very difficult for them to pull the wool over eyes now versus 20 years ago.
I agree with you completely. And if you and the thing is, like, if you look at the polls in the United States of America, the vast majority of people see Israel in a very negative way. So and then that's the entirety of America. I obviously know the left, it's even more so. Under 50s is a huge amount. Now, like, when people hear stories about Israel and how, you know, they did the USS Liberty, they killed JFK, they did 9/11. Historically, when people think about things, it doesn't have the same emotional impact as when it's happening in real time in front of you. If Americans saw is that you know, the American kids are losing their lives for the Israelis, I think that could be the close to the end of Israel in terms of support from America. What do you think?
Absolutely, Iraq was a monumental failure, right? And now that you know, 20 years later, we can finally look back and reflect and realize, you know, not again. Like this is fucking retarded. Why the hell did we go here? And the thing is, when we invaded Iraq in 2003, you know, we bombed them for like 3 weeks first. Then we sent the ground troops in, and you know, we sent in like 200,000 people. Well, Iran is bigger. They have a bigger military. They have more mountainous regions. Like it's going to be significantly harder to get a regime change in Iran. Damn near impossible. So, you know, so for us to be able to effectively do this regime change like what Israel wants, damn near impossible. And we'd need to put boots on the ground, and that would be highly unpopular, highly, highly unpopular.
Yeah, it's crazy. Do jump in with whatever you want, Myron. Appreciate you being on as always. And guys, do give Myron a follow. Go to his profile and give a follow. He does the biggest, like a huge Rumble, YouTube, kick shows, got a huge account, has a huge amount of engagement. Do give him a follow. Click on his profile and click on follow, guys. Amazing, amazing guy.
Appreciate that, man. I stream everywhere, guys. Kick, YouTube, Rumble. Even though YouTube is fucking lame, I hate YouTube with a passion. Zion is controlled. They fucking demonetized me for talking about this shit. So yeah, man, Rumble and Kick is where it's at.
I mean, I was streaming on Kick for a bit, and probably if I go back to streaming, I'll do it. But the concern was with Kick that they basically don't let you talk about politics that much. Have you had any issues yet?
No, man, no. You can talk politics on there. It's just that Kick is not known for politics. Like, you know, there's very few political commentators on Kick. I mean, I know Osmongold's on there. He just came. I'm on there now. But in general, man, there's like, Kick is mostly gambling and, IRL streams, not much higher IQ political discussion on there. So there's definitely a market there, man, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I thought when I started doing it. And actually, we were getting decent numbers, I think, on Kick. So yeah, there is definitely an opportunity there. For sure. Yeah. So guys, do give Myron a follow. Myron, do jump in with what you want. I'm just gonna let some other people speak, so I cannot speak. I'm getting a bit tired, to be honest. It's like 5-6 a.m. here. But appreciate you, Myron. And guys, do give him a follow. Guys, amazing. And actually, do give everyone on the panel a follow. Everyone's been contributing amazingly to this. So I appreciate every single person on the panel who's been helping, supporting the space. It's been fire. Let me just move this. Let me check. Bro. Emmy, you there? Thanks for joining us.
Can I jump in quickly since no one else is talking?
Yeah, please do, bro.
So it seems at the moment Iran is still kind of treading the line between like inflicting a lot of pain on the entity and drawing in America. I think it seems to be obviously that's what's going on. And is there an opportunity to finish them right now, or is this the right tactic? I think that's a question that's in my head.
Okay, what does that mean? What does that mean to finish them?
So what I'm saying is, if America isn't yet ready to go to war, and is going to go to war, is it better to go all in now, or to continue at this rate?
All right, let's see here. Hold on. Oh, we got some chats here. E-Money said, love you're the best, Myron, and let you know how to give those memberships so we can get some more people in. Okay, I appreciate that, E-Money. Noble sent me a message on how to do it. Who's trying to gift on locals, Mr. Hooligan? I'll figure it out. Kumo DTV says they're saying the planes headed east are part of the Atlantic Trident exercise that lasts several days. I believe it's in Finland. Okay.
The problem with that is, Myron.
Right, so people are saying these American planes on their way to the Atlantic. This comes from Kumo TV. Here's his tweet right here. You guys can take a look at that.
Myron, can you hear us?
Someone calling on you to speak on spaces. Yep. Sorry about that. Do Monkey, when you go on Kick, you don't need to download it, just the website, or call Coffin or Cheeser. I don't have their numbers.
I'm going to mute him. I don't think you can hear us.
Poppin' 7. I don't have their numbers.
Yeah, about those tankers, guys. From my understanding, normally when they do the tankers, it's a lot less. It's like about 6 to 7, maybe 10 or 15, depending on when it is. So the fact that there's 26, I believe, that's significant. Joe, when you mentioned that there's Joe, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, you mentioned that the 26 tankers can basically cover the whole of Iran. Do you want to explain that a bit more to the audience?
Yeah, they were basically what I looked. I just went onto AI and said, why would they use 26? Why would you need 26 refueling planes? And it basically said that's pretty average for an operation. And I go, what about the operation in Iran? Like, well, that would give planes air superiority. That's about the amount you would need to give air superiority to your Air Force. So I think that's what they're doing, so they can try to take down some of these things early. I don't know if you could take down like the ballistics. Maybe you could take down faster if you're over top of Iran and you're not waiting for it to get to.
They can't outpace the ballistic. I think what they might attempt to do is to use those B2s or B-52s to try to drop bunker busters repeatedly on the same spot,
But that would be an
hoping to
American
dent it
plane,
further.
right?
Yeah,
Because
well, that's
Israel
what
doesn't have those.
I know. Well, they want America to strike at the nuclear facilities that they're not able to access.
Yeah, I just don't
They've
know if
already
they
admitted
will.
they can't damage the nuclear sites. They've admitted it now.
Sorry, guys. I didn't realize I was unmuted. I'm sorry about that. My bad.
No, all good, all good. We were just answering the question that one of your chatters asked.
Yeah, so two scenarios, Solomon. One is if they're just giving support to Israel, then it's just for their fighter jets. But then to Truth's point, if they actually get involved in attack, yeah, that would be able to fuel the planes they need to bomb military sites. But it's not some crazy amount. It's not like some I hear 26 and I'm like, whoa, that's a lot. It's not. They say it's quite average for this type of operation. We still have no confirmation on Khomeini, right? So that's probably false. That
Yeah, it's
report.
false. I checked a couple sites. They're just there is an attempt at best. That's it. But I was just
They
thinking
blew
over.
up his house or something.
I don't have exact information because I've seen more than one variation of the story. So I'll reserve judgment until I know more. Oh, the point I was going to make is Iran's got a lot of decoys. So, yes, they've been trying to strike the nuclear facilities, so they think, and that's what Iran wants them to think. It's a great strategy. So I don't know what information America may have if they say enter the war and want to strike the nuclear facilities or something else, maybe the missile. And they've been gathering data this whole time, so it's really a question of what they think they know and what they're going to try to hit, and whether it'll be an effective hit or not. Still unlikely, given that all the facilities are more than half a kilometer under the Earth's surface. And Iran's also mixing it up. Like, they launched their missiles from different locations this time. They went from the east. So, and they have mobile platforms where they launch from. So that's what it's been detected from satellites. So they state. So there's unpredictability with what they're doing. And then there's the question of, if America gets involved, do Russia and China or Pakistan or anyone else get involved more directly? I don't know.
I feel like that would happen. I feel like that's like an unwritten agreement, between China and Russia, you know.
Well, Russia will definitely provide all the access to military intel, spy satellite info, and all that. But will they put up their own bomber? They have bombers too, right?
Um, who knows? I mean, but I feel like it's again some unwritten agreement, because like if we have other kind of like dealings together and stuff like that, these three are kind of like an asset to each other. But I mean, I am not the one making the decisions, but I always thought this is how it would kick off, like a World War III. So God forbid, but yeah.
Michael, you want to comment? Haven't seen you in a while.
What's up, man? Yeah, I'm looking up the C-17s, but I'm pretty sure, based off the 100th ARW for the refueling, that they're going to that event from June. It's from June 16th to the 27th. So I got to check all the tags to see if all 24 that you guys are mentioning are part of that same regiment. But I think they are going to that NATO event, the Trident.
Yeah, but normally, like when they normally do this as a normal yearly thing or whatever it is, it's normally about 7 to 15 tankers. Why is it 26?
Yeah, I was looking at that. I'm trying to find them on Flight Radar to see if all 24 are from the same regiment, but those ones are scheduled to go to that event
They
for
brought him.
UCF. But I agree with
They
you.
brought him
Those
in
are
for
not.
that botched parade for Trump. That's all.
You didn't like the parade?
No, I'm just saying that's the extra that you're talking about. Like, don't read too much into it. Firepower of the United States in the Middle East is significant. It doesn't need any reinforcement whatsoever. It is able to take out any country, multiple countries in the Middle East in one shot.
Yeah, right, buddy. No, they can't. I don't know what are you smoking these days with one
Well,
shot?
no, let him explain why
No,
he
they
says that.
can't.
Why do you say that?
No, I think it's interesting. Look, is what we wish for, what we want, and then somewhat reality. The problem that you're seeing right now is that Israel is softening the landscape for America and NATO, and it's doing quite an extensive job at it. They're flying over the airspace freely now. It's a freeway
Sorry,
up there.
where's that happening? Are you just trolling right now?
No,
Okay, so which airspace are they flying over?
Iran,
Which part of Iran?
literally the capital.
So they're in Tehran, really? And you have proof of this?
Yeah.
Most of those
Cool.
strikes are from
Okay,
drones that were already in Tehran.
let's see your proof. You're aware that 3 F-35s have been shot down successfully, right?
Yeah, look at the end of the day, if you think that
Sorry, so
Israel isn't,
where's your proof? Where's your proof they're flying
I
over
will
Tehran?
I'll send it out. There is a lot of evidence and
Besides
proof that
besides stealth medical, real proof.
forget
Just
stealth
send
medical.
them. Yeah.
One second,
Okay,
in that case, let them both go.
because that's a bunch of bullshit. Nobody's reported that's credible. You believe anything anyway, so you've always been gullible.
Okay. Well.
So if they're flying over the airspace, why didn't they stop this new missile salvo that just came and destroyed Haifa and Tel Aviv? What's going on?
Dude,